before the Sprint Cup cars were on the scene, the Camping World Truck Series floodgates were open. Today, first call, 6:30 a.m. The early bird catches the worm. The fast truck grabs the trophy.
You want to put yourself in the best position possible that you can be in striking distance for the win.
Timothy Peters wants to win on a super speedway, running second.
I'm thinking, you know, I'm sitting here riding in second.
The question is, can anybody pull the trigger? And if so, when?
Todd went up to block B.
Rhode Island blocks the advance down low again. Peters has got something that's got to go.
Timothy Peters goes to the bottom of the racetrack to take the lead.
I knew that he was very close. I couldn't see him.
Here comes Todd Bodine trying to rally back, but Peters has got the inside lane covered.
Seeing the checker flag fall, it kind of makes you feel like that, wow, you just won Daytona.
Timothy Peters is wild coming up to the line. Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona.
All the guys standing up on the podium in victory lane at Daytona, and when you get out and you see all the photographers, you know, it's just an incredible feeling that you're there.
Not only is the racing raw, so is NASCAR's bare bones pre-race show. No prompter, no fancy rehearsal here, just the drivers and their thoughts. Unedited, uninhibited. The setup presented by Polaris is on. Hello everyone and welcome to the setup presented by Polaris. I'm Krista Voda. You know, the biggest names, the biggest stories, they are right here. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick in the field. Does that mean the Truck Series regulars are underdogs? And speaking of underdogs, we have the Olympic-size version complete with gold medals. How about that? You know, the last time the trucks were on track, it was our version of the Olympics, the season opener at Daytona. And if you thought the U.S. bobsled team was a long shot, what about the guy who ended the night standing in victory lane? Let's take a look back at the sights and sounds of Daytona.
Dream about just racing at Daytona. To actually get the pole and to lead this pack off is a dream come true.
We're learning every time I get on the track. When you get in a tight situation, you got to go. It's pretty tough out here.
You're in the middle. Just hold her straight. Hold the brakes. Hold the brakes. Yeah, what did I do? You got stuck in the middle and looks like you got bounced left and right. 4 and a 2 trying to help you. 2 wide all the way back.
These trucks, the bumpers don't line whatsoever, so you just can't bump draft in these things, and we're going to learn that.
I'm no expert at bump drafting, but I was on the brakes, you know, and no one was pushing me from behind. We just had a lot of momentum. I feel horrible for those guys. I look up to that guy so much.
Well, when the bumpers don't line up, it's pretty hard, and, you know, 17 and I have been working really well together, but he just gave me a little too much of a push there.
17 come down and apologize, but it doesn't make it better. Here inside. Yeah, one truck was behind you. Yeah, come on, I told him not to push me like that. This is not Formula 1. You gotta learn. I learn. I don't do this to people. Might have been my fault, I don't know. That wasn't your fault.
Timmy just did it right. You know, he went to the outside, I had to block, and he came back under. It was a great crossover move. I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
I was just content to where I was at, but the 23 came up, gave me a good run. I went high, the 30 went up.
You know, he did what he had to do. He's a great race car driver. He's a good kid, and if I had to lose, he's a good one to lose to.
I can't believe it. We just won Daytona. I just can't believe it. I'm going to Disney World.
Obviously, Timothy Peters took away the trophy, but some other drivers took away some much-needed momentum. Here in the Truck Series and here on the setup, each week we're going to give these teams the credit that they deserve with a big ol' thumbs up. Let's go ahead and start with truck number 6, Donnie Neuenberger in Daytona. He may have started 32nd, but he finished with a top 10, one spot ahead of the guy in the 01. J.J. Yaley started last, came all the way back to lead a lap, and finished 10th. And with names like Lofton, Dillon, and Castle in the field, who would have guessed it would have been Brett Butler who'd walk away leading the rookie standings? And how about 2 thumbs up to series veterans Dennis Setzer and Johnny Benson. Setzer in the 46 finished 3rd. Johnny Benson in the 95 came home 8th. A great welcome back for the 2008 series champ. You know, we're only one race in, but the standings look like this. A strange mix of veterans and newbies. You see some of those names we mentioned. Jason White was the pole sitter in Daytona. He's in 4th. How about the former Formula 1 driver, Nelson Piquet? He's sitting top 10 as well. Well, we mentioned Johnny Benson. He's not in the truck this week. Instead, it's Jeff Bodine. Now, if you've never watched a truck race, well, first off, shame on you. But you watched the Olympics, well, you saw Jeff Bodine. He is responsible for putting the U.S. back in contention. The catalyst behind the Bodine Bobsled project. America's teams used to not use American-made sleds. Jeff said, no way. He designed and built better bobsleds. He and his brothers have hosted the Bodine Bobsled Challenge over the years. Ray Dunlap is a regular at that fundraising event. He is with Jeff Bodine.
Well, thanks, Krista. We always have a great time when we're up in Lake Placid for the Bodine Bobsled Project, but I'll tell you what, you were a guy who had an idea and put his money where his mouth is, and guess what? The gold came to the U.S. again. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I finally got my medal, too. Lori got this for me, but no, we're proud of the team, the Bodine Bobsled team, and all the team members on the bobsled, American bobsled teams. They're great. They did a great job. They work so hard. It's hard not to reach out and help those guys, and they needed American-made bobsleds. We were just lucky enough, fortunate enough to be able to do it for them.
It was about 18 years ago when you got your first idea on this thing. Looking back then, can you say to yourself, I must have been crazy?
Well, most people say I'm crazy, but I'm crazy smart. I had confidence in our athletes. I said, we have the best athletes in the whole world. Something must be wrong, and what was wrong was they didn't have good equipment, so we just furnished that to them.
He got it done, and congratulations to the USA Bobsled. They got gold up in Vancouver. Adam?
And brother Todd Bodine also helping celebrate that gold medal in the Olympics with his brother Jeff. I know the ultimate goal, celebrate at the end of today. What's the biggest challenge you face?
Well, you know, Atlanta, in the past, we've had tires here that really give up after about 8-10 laps. They start slipping and sliding. Goodyear's brought us a tire that's fantastic, and it doesn't start slipping and sliding until about 20-25 laps. So, you know, having a truck that can run really well when you're slipping and sliding, that's the goal at Atlanta. And of course, you know, Kevin's going to be fast. There's going to be a lot of guys that are really fast, so you just got to stay pace with them, get the truck adjusted, so at the end of the race you're in a position to win. And you know, this truck series had a lot of great finishes here in Atlanta, and hopefully we can have another one today, and I'll be at the front of it.
The youngin starts 10th this afternoon, Krista.
All right, thanks, Adam. And how about this hardware? We are now joined by the medalists from the Olympic bobsled teams. We've got the women's two-man bronze medalists, Aaron Pack and Georgia's own Elena Myers. Congratulations, ladies. And our gold medalists, two of the gentlemen from the four-man team, Stephen Holcomb and Steve Messler. It was just last week, Stephen, we were watching you guys amazed. What was the overriding feeling for you during that?
It's overwhelming. It's been such a great experience, and you know, I can't believe it's been a week. It seems like it's been a month, but it's been just so much fun, and we've had such a great time. And to come down here, this is my first NASCAR race, and it's been so far it's been a blast, and I can't wait for it to get started.
And obviously Jeff Bodine is someone we see all the time, but he has been instrumental to you guys winning these gold medals and bronze medals as well.
Yeah, I mean, without his support and what he's done for the program and come out and build the Bodine sleds, we wouldn't be where we're at. We may be at the Olympics, but we wouldn't be in first place, that's for sure.
All right, well, congratulations. We are so proud of all of you, proud of all of our athletes. I'm just going to touch it. I'm touching the gold medal. No, we really are proud of you guys, proud of everyone. NASCAR's athletes are about to go for some gold medal runs of their own here in the truck race at Atlanta. Don't go anywhere. The setup and the truck race. It's our bobsled on wheels. It powers on next.
Move aside, Todd. There's a new super speedway winner atop the charts. Daytona winner Timothy Peters and his crew chief Jeff Hensley talked to us about their first race together and the biggest win of both their careers. The tech garage is open, and Ray Dunlap explains the new fuel can being used by some teams in the truck series. Dynamic duo Phil and Mikey take us down memory lane here at Atlanta. All this and much more when the setup presented by Polaris continues.
The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. And brought to you in part by Camping World RV Rentals. Book early and save. One-way and round-trip rentals now available. Well, our biggest news item heading into Atlanta, the fact that our defending champ has a new crew chief. 2 races, 2 crew chiefs for Ron Hornaday. Dave Fuge no longer leading the charge for our defending champ. That job now falls to Doug George, who had been the signal caller for KHI's other truck. Ernie Cope will call the shots today. Butch Hilton will take over in Martinsville for that too. And welcome back to Atlanta. Talk about taking one for the betterment of your team. George should have been with the 2 truck today, but the boss, Kevin Harvick, slid him over to the Champs truck instead. And if you remember, Ron Hornaday lost his championship crew chief from last year. Rick Wren moved over to head up competition at Kyle Busch Motorsports. Well, one of the other changes this year has to do with pit stops, how they're conducted, who goes over the wall, and what equipment they use. To bring us up to speed, Ray Dunlap has the goods in this week's Tech Tip.
In any official Sprint Cup or Nationwide Series pit stop, there are 7 people over the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, number 6 here is our traditional gas man, and 7 is the catch can man. But in 2010, in the Camping World Truck Series, we're only allowed to have 6 people over the wall. And that's partly because of this brand new self-venting fuel can. Now, this thing not only delivers the fuel to the fuel cell, it also allows itself to vent and take the overflow right back into the can. Now, as Jamie engages here, you'll see this is really a one-stop shop, and therefore we don't need a catch can man any longer. You're officially fired. So there are 6 people in this style stop, but remember, back over here we still have 7 in position. Now, the catch can man has to stay here and he can't do any other duty. No chassis adjustments, and can't touch this fuel can. So that means somebody else has to go. How about a tire carrier? You're officially fired now, and that means this guy has to bring his own tire out, make the change, and get the other one away. Now, so far in 2010, we've seen about half of the teams doing it this style and half with the brand new system. But don't be surprised to see this self-venting fuel can come to a Sprint Cup race near you very soon. And down here on the pit road, I am set up to show you the position that the catch can person used to be in. Standing right here like this, right? Well, guess what? When you're in this position, you have no idea what's coming behind you, like another truck. Oh, my goodness. And this is what NASCAR wanted to alleviate, the fact that the catch can person could not look backwards. When you take that person out of this zone right here, it's much, much safer on pit road, and that's good for everybody involved. Adam?
Ray, earlier this afternoon, Ron Hornaday won his 3rd Atlanta pole. I'm not sure if you remember, but the last 2 times, Ron, you were on a pole here, you finished 2nd in the race. How hungry are you to get that victory from the top starting spot today?
Well, I'll take a second with the competitors we have here in this truck series. It's going to be tough. The track's heated up. We didn't practice on anything like this, so I'm sure Doug's got a good setup in this thing, and we'll see what we got.
24th pole of Hornaday's career, Krista.
All right, thanks, Adam. And Doug, he was talking about Doug George just walked up to that truck right behind me, checking things out for Ron Hornaday as we speak. And I love how Ray has already fired some people since we've been here. Time to bring in our experts. We know Kyle Busch is going to be big today. You know, you lose a lot of RPMs at this track, so let's bring in our RPM, Rick, Phil, Michael, as in Alan Parsons and Waltrip. Okay, Kyle Busch, one of the stories. How many others do we have?
Well, when you come to Atlanta, you've got numerous stories, always great finishes at racetracks like this. And one of the things that always does is takes you down memory lane. When you come to Atlanta, you think, okay, what are the great things that take place at this racetrack? So we want to go down memory lane with Phil and Michael. Phil, take us down memory lane here at Atlanta.
I'll tell you, one of the finest races I believe that I have ever seen. Ron Hornaday, Bobby Labonte. Watch this now. This is the last lap. We've had 3 last lap passes here at Atlanta, and this doesn't count as one of them. Ron Hornaday leads when they take the white flag. Watch. Bobby Labonte is going to pass him to take the lead coming off turn number 2. But we're not done swapping the lead. Watch this now. Here goes Bobby Labonte to take over the lead, okay? Lead change. Doesn't count. Didn't happen at the line. Ron Hornaday is going to pass Bobby Labonte back, getting into turn 3. Second lead change on the last lap. But oh, by the way, Bobby Labonte is going to pass him back. Bobby Labonte's now leading. 3 lead changes, but Ron Hornaday will beat him to the line. One of the finest finishes that I have ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen a lot of these.
Those guys couldn't figure it out, could they? I didn't know it was going. I loved your hair too, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Was that in 2005, by the way? No, it wasn't 2005. 8/1000th of a second was the separation there of margin of victory for those 2 trucks. Now you take us down a different finish at Atlanta.
I like the year before that. 2004. There was so much drama coming into the race here in Atlanta because of the manufacturer that's leading the race right there. Toyota's looking for their first win. David Rudeman, a rookie, got Darrell Waltrip Motorsports their first pole in the series and is running third here on the last lap. Bobby Hamilton got to the outside of Mike Skinner, but Mike ain't going to go down easy, Phil. He's going to fight for all he's worth. They're coming to the checker. We don't know who's going to win. They touch. Skinner spins through the infield, and Bobby Hamilton drives off with a victory. Those two trucks dominated the race that day, but until they got right here, we didn't know which one of them was going to get the win.
33 100ths of a second was the margin of victory.
Huge.
There.
That was
so
huge.
Between the first two races, 0.338 seconds separated those two races.
And put an asterisk, one guy was spinning out. That's how he was sideways and they were that close.
Who do you like in today's race?
Oh, I like Kevin Harvick. I have ever since
Very
they
strong.
unloaded these trucks. But I tell you, I was impressed with Matt Crafton. Last year, he didn't seem to have the speed he needed to race with these guys. He was consistent. He just wasn't fast.
Yeah.
He's fast here.
Phil?
Matt Crafton has had the speed this entire week, but he's got Ron Hornaday, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, all right around him now. How will he withstand that pressure?
It's going to be a great green flag, Krista.
All right, thanks for the trip down memory lane. My favorite memory when I did the pre-race show from the Blimp a few years ago. You know, nowadays, you know what everyone is doing thanks to social networking. Well, the Truck Series and our crew, well, we are on board. We are tweeting and we are following our drivers. And each week, we're going to tell you some of the best postings of the week. Justin Lofton starting to get recognized. He tweeted that he just signed his first autograph last week in his hometown. Jennifer Jo Cobb is spending some cash. There you see she bought a couple engines and had to kind of balance it out by buying a couple pair of shoes. I love that girl. And Max Pappas trying to channel some of the home cooking from Como, Italy, sort of. Olive Garden, almost Italian, Max says. Join us at NCWTS on Speed. It's our Twitter link, and you're invited. More of the setup from Atlanta still to come. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer.
The white flag in the air. 1 lap of racing to go. Todd Bodine trying to make it 3 in a row from Daytona. A little contact. Timothy Peters is wild coming up to the line. Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona.
Welcome back to the setup presented by Polaris here in Atlanta. What a big moment for Timothy Peters. You know, he said one of his heroes is DW. He said he admires his style, his aggressive driving, and the way that old Tide car looked. Well, now the traits that Timothy admired in DW in a 17 helped steer another 17 to the sport's biggest victory lane.
My name's Timothy Peters.
Jeff Hensley,
Driver of number 17.
crew chief of the number 17.
And we just won the Daytona Next Era Energy 250. Coming off that 2-month downtime that we had after Homestead, you know, everybody's anxious, ready to get back to the racetrack. So, you know, it's always been a dream of mine since we started racing to go to Daytona.
I've been going to Daytona every year since 1985, hoping to win a race there, and this year we're just fortunate enough to be able to make that happen.
Basically wanted to get the show solid, which we were already locked in, but the main thing was a game of survival, because as much as you want to say you can control it, sometimes your fate isn't controlled by you.
Everything went perfect. I don't know how you could have scripted a race would have been any better for us. I felt confident going down there, but you know, so many things that happen at Daytona are out of your control.
The first laps of the race was just kind of intense, really. A major multi-truck crash. Not even the first lap happened, and you're thinking, you know, which way do you go? Because everything's so self-cleaning. Even though you pick a path that's clear, it may not be clear. So we were very fortunate enough to slip through there with our Toyota Tundra and still had our fenders on it for most part of the race anyway. You're thinking in the last 10 laps, ride behind Todd. You don't want to get out of line, because the first thing's going to happen is that you're going to get freight trained and go straight to the back. I just kind of went to school, and I told Todd after the race, I said, I went to Bodine 101. You know, we come across the straight white flag. I knew that I couldn't make a move by myself without some help. And, you know, the 23 had a great run. I moved up the block. The 30 moved up, but kind of caught Todd in the bumper. The 23 gave me a pretty good shot in the back. I was able to cross over, and here we are today.
Daytona's just one race. We still got 24 to go. It's a very big race for us, don't get me wrong, but you know, we feel like we have what it takes here to contend for a championship, to be competitive week in and week out. But in the same sense, you know, let's stay focused and go to Atlanta and see if we can make it happen again.
So for more than 3 weeks, everyone's been talking about that number 17 in victory lane. You've been able to have a big smile on your face, but today, I'm way back here in 30th. What's going on with that?
Yeah, our Canadian Filters Crescent Tools Toyota Tundra isn't very good by itself, but race balance is really good. Jeff Hensley and the whole Red Horse Racing team did a good job on adjustments yesterday. It isn't where we want to start at, but hopefully we can use the high line to our advantage and get to the front soon. But just it's been an incredible couple of weeks, and can't thank Tom DeLoach enough for giving me the awesome opportunity, and I'm glad to be back at the track.
He got his first big win last year at Martinsville, but nothing much tops Daytona. Timothy Peters rolls off 30th. Adam?
And he will likely spend the day chasing this guy. Kevin Harvick rolls from the 4th position today, but I don't want to talk about the truck race. I want to talk about how special Atlanta is. It was 9 years ago you got your first Sprint Cup Series win here.
Yeah, this place has been really good to us, whether it's the Truck Series, Cup Series, Nationwide Series. We always seem to run pretty well here. So, yeah, that was pretty cool first day for us to get that first win and under the circumstances, and just a cool moment. But it's all about our Easy Go Chevrolet today, and hopefully we can have a good day and do all the things we need to do, manage our tires correctly, and I think the track conditions are going to be a little bit different than they were yesterday with the warmer weather, so should be fun.
The last 2 times Harvick's been in a truck race, he's gone to victory lane. Krista.
And that's bad news for the field. You know, this race is going to be sweet, especially with young Brad Sweet in the field. Casey Kane has been helping advise the team this weekend. After all, sweet races for Kane in USAC. Now he'll go up against some of NASCAR's best. We'll wrap up the setup from the super fast Atlanta Motor Speedway right here on Speed next. The Camping World Truck Series setup presented by Polaris comes to you today from Atlanta Motor Speedway just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Still a lot of racing to come. NASCAR Race Day on Speed at 10 a.m. followed by the Cobalt Tools 500. NASCAR on Fox coverage begins at high noon. But how much fun is this series? Well, even the Cup Series points leader is coming to play today. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch in the field trying to upend series regulars like Skinner, Crawford, and Bodine. Actually, we have 2 Bodines in the field. The U.S. Bobsled team here to cheer them on. Our thanks to the Olympic medalists for joining us on the show. You don't have to steer a sled on rails to know this place is fast, but skating on the edge just might be what it takes to win the Easy Go 200 on Speed now.
The good thing about racing here in Atlanta, it speaks for itself.
No pressure, bring it home. Good job.
4 wide off turn.
Oh, and that's going to get Boston Reed. Oh, sideways.
This is the house that Busch and Ballou have built in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
How could this race have been better than last year? And I think it was.
There's been that big crash. Wonder what we expect tonight.
It's Bobby Hamilton, Mike Skinner.
Oh, what a finish.
Everybody jostling for position. They're banging quarter panels and around they go.
Experience versus inexperience. We're going to see a lot of flashes out there.
Ron Hornaday goes across the start finish line just inches in front of Bobby Labonte. Can the finishes get better? In Hampton, Georgia, we're about to find out. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Easy Go 200 from Atlanta Motor Speedway on Speed. Well, it's been 21 days since the green flag flew at Daytona. That means that it's been a long time since we've raced, and it's going to be 21 more days until the flag will fly again at Martinsville. So we have a little bit of a slow start in the Camping World Truck Series, but there's nothing slow about Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the 2 guys that know that best are the guys that are down on pit road with me, Ray Dunlap and Adam Alexander. Ray, what's the first story we're going to follow today?
Well, you got to talk about the truck that's sitting up front today at Atlanta. That is Ron Hornaday and the 33 Longhorn Chevrolet. The 24th career pole for Ron Hornaday. And over the last 2 years, he has really established himself as a leader when it comes to mile-and-a-half racetracks. But the last 2 times that we were at Atlanta when Ron Hornaday was on the pole, guess who won those days? Kyle Busch in both occasions. Adam?
Ray, we are accustomed to seeing this 5 of Mike Skinner starting at the front of the pack. In 10 previous starts here at Atlanta, only one time has he qualified outside the top 10, but he's got an uphill battle today. The reason why? They changed a clutch after their qualifying run this morning, meaning he will start at the back. Keep your eye on the number 5. He's going to have to maneuver some traffic today. Rick?
Thank you, Adam. The 46 is also going to have to start to the back because they made adjustments after the trucks were impounded after qualifying, and so he will also go back. That's the 46 of Dennis Setzer, who had his career best finish when we last raced at Daytona. It was an amazing finish at that racetrack for Dennis Setzer. Can he equal that today? Well, he's going to have to go by quite a few people up front, like Hornaday, Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, Harvick, and the young man Austin Dillon will start in the top 5. To get things started, we've got to go trackside for our invocation.
100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America, please rise and remove your hats as Troop 4 and Troop 291 from the Boy Scouts of America Flint River Council serving Central Georgia present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Bob Osterley of Pleasant Valley Baptist Church from Calhoun, Georgia offers today's invocation.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this beautiful day. We praise you as the Lord of heaven and of earth. We thank you for the sponsors and the Speedway officials who've made today's race possible. And God, we ask for the safety and protection of every driver, crew member, and spectator at the race today. We take a moment and remember those in our armed services, keep them safe, and Father, bless us, and God bless America. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please welcome Lake Joy Elementary School Chorus as they perform our national anthem. Let's hear it for the Lake Joy Elementary School Chorus and the 2 F-18.
We saw a shot of Olympic medalists. Maybe the last time they heard that song was when they're standing on the podium receiving their gold medals. We'll see who wins the gold medal here today. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World RV Rentals. Book early and save. One-way and round-trip RV rentals available. By Nature Valley Granola Bars, the taste nature intended. And by CC's Pizza, home of the endless pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet. And welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We want to get you reset up with the Polaris reset up and Chris Kubota on pit road.
That's right, Rick. It is a Polaris reset up. Now, the big crew chief carousel swinging around at KHI, Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Doug George moves from the 2 truck over to the 33. So far, so good. Doug George up on the pit box, and they're already on the pole in the race 1 for him. Ernie Cope will move over to that truck, the 2 truck today. Butch Hilton will be in charge starting in Martinsville. Meanwhile, Hornaday, he's going to have a setback in race 1. He, along with guys like Kyle Busch, Mike Skinner, Johnny Sauter, some of our contenders had a detrimental Daytona. They are looking to rebound today. And Jeff Bodine is back in a truck with help from the U.S. Bobsled team. We had the Olympic medalist with us on the setup. And I know you're jealous. I actually got to hold the gold medal. It is so heavy, and I wanted to tell the guys, I don't have a gold medal, but I did win some ribbons in gymnastics, so Not to brag anyway, but you know, this track is so fast and we are going to be on the edge. No one takes it to the edge like the trucks.
Well, thank you, Kristen. And I know people can't see it at home, but Phil stands on a podium every time we do a show. Just want to know that you guys know that. So he's always on a podium on the Truck Series. Hey, yesterday, the trucks took the track at 1 o'clock. Have things changed?
They really have. I mean, since their last practice was at 4 o'clock, there's been almost 2,000 laps run on this racetrack. It's a lot warmer, a lot of rubber down, quite a bit different conditions than what they had yesterday, Mikey.
But the word from the garage area is we love this tire. Goodyear's bought us a tire here we can really go on. They said they can go maybe 20 laps before they're finally out of control. Last year, 4 or 5 laps and they were all sideways. So they're going to have 15 or 20 more laps where they can really like their ride, and then it'll get crazy, that's for sure.
And Hornaday has decided he will start on the outside of row 1, so that moves Kyle Busch to the inside. So it should be an interesting start to this race. Let's get the engines fired.
Here to deliver the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome today's Grand Marshal and Vice President of Sales Easy Go, Mike Parkhurst.
Drivers, start your engines!
I love an enthusiastic command, and that's exactly what was delivered. Get the intensity level up before that green flag flies. Stay with us here on Speed. Welcome back to the Easy Go 200, the second event of the 2010 season for the Camping World Truck Series. The engines are fired. The trucks are about to roll off of pit road. It is a interesting weather day in Atlanta, 56 degrees. Normally we call it Hot Atlanta, but I can't say Hot Atlanta at 56 degrees. Although the wind has gone down, it's only 4 miles per hour, so it does feel comfortable outside.
Cool Atlanta.
Cool Atlanta today. It's going to heat up on the track, though.
Yes, and for race fans and these drivers, it's a perfect day. The weather is going to be consistent, Rick, from the time they throw the green to the checker, and that's what those crew chiefs like, Phil. They don't have to be scrambling down there on the pit box as much as they would be if the weather conditions were changing.
Our starting grid rolls across the bottom of the screen, and we want to take a look at our ZMAX track description of this 1.54 mile track.
Incredible racetrack. Back in the middle of 1997, they completely redid this racetrack, flip-flopped it. The backstretch is now the front stretch. They made a quad oval out of it. A great racetrack. You can race from the yellow line you see right of your screen all the way to the safer barrier on the outside.
And I love it. I love what we're getting ready to watch.
Take a look at our Toyota Sponsify race analysis. 36 trucks will be starting just over 200 miles.
These guys will look to see if they can make it maybe somewhere around 55, 60 laps at the most before they need a pit stop. The tires will eventually fall off. We talked about that. They're good tires, but just the abrasive surface that they're racing on here at Atlanta will require those teams after 10, 15, 20 laps, the drivers are going to be wanting some tires, right?
Absolutely.
We want to shine a spotlight on a few different drivers in our speed spotlight, and we're going to start off with Ray Dunlap. Who's in your spotlight, Ray?
Well, Rick, I want to talk about Stephen Wallace. You know, Billy Ballou Motorsports has won 4 times right here at Atlanta, but this weekend is an off weekend for the Nationwide Series. And from about October on, Stephen Wallace has been on an incredible roll, posting a whole bunch of top 5s consecutively. I asked him, why in the world make your Truck Series debut this week? He said, because there's no other race, and that's what I want to do. I'm here to race, and I'm here to win. Stephen Wallace in the 15. Adam?
Maryland driver Donnie Neuenberger, Ray, got off to a great start in 2010, finishing 9th at Daytona, an overachieving run for this team, but they nearly missed the race today. He will start 36th in his Easy Slider cylinder liner Chevrolet, hoping to gain some momentum so they can continue their rise in the Camping World Truck Series throughout the 2010 season. Phil?
Double A, I want to take a look at 28-year-old Chris Fontaine from Lakeland, Florida. Chris started racing when he was 16 years old, driving mini cup race cars. He ran some ASA and some other late model series. Getting to this point, watched him make his mark here in the Camping World Truck Series. He's made 16 career starts, including 11 last year. His best finish was 13th at Gateway last year. He starts his best career starting position, 13th today in the Glendon Enterprises Chevrolet. Chris Fontaine looking to move that truck towards the front. Mikey.
Phil, let's shine that spotlight on Brad Sweet. He's starting in 21st. 24-year-old California kid is fast. He's a big winner. If you race USAC, you want to win at Eldora. You want to win at Belleville. You want to win at Knoxville. Check all those off for Brad Sweet. He's won at all those. And here at Atlanta, he's running great. 8th or better in both practices yesterday. He's looking to see if he can get it to the front.
We'll keep track of our speed spotlights throughout the race, and now we want to talk about a few of the drivers that are going to be carrying cameras for us. One of those being Kevin Harvick. He will start in the 4th spot.
We're also going to ride along with Rick Crawford. Circle Bar Truck Corral back on board this truck. Mr. Mitchell said, Rick Crawford, you need to be in Atlanta. He will start 24th in that Ford.
Kyle Busch is going to start on the inside of row 1 in the Toyota onboard camera. And you talking about a young man that knows how to get it done here in Atlanta. 4 wins. He'll be driving that truck sideways as we race along today. It'll be great shots from inside that Toyota.
And right behind him, starting in the 3rd position, Matt Crafton, last year's runner-up in the points battle between he and Ron Hornaday. Will have a great shot of, well, the top 4 at least. We've got 3 cameras up there in the top 4. Before the green flag flies, let's go back trackside and hear our thoughts before green. We'll start with Ray.
Well, you know, Rick, we talk about the dominance that Kevin Harvick Incorporated has had in the Camping World Trucks over the last couple of years. Last year, a lot of that had to do with the fact that they built so much new equipment, a whole bunch of trucks on the racetrack for the first ever time. And when Kevin himself was behind the wheel, check out these numbers. 4 times last year, he drove a brand new truck. 3 of those were victories. Today, Kevin Harvick in a brand new chassis, number 42. Adam?
Ray, today marks the 2nd race of 2010 for the Camping World Truck Series, but the first of 9 at 1.5 mile racetracks. And that is good news for Todd Bodine because he has been outstanding at these kinds of facilities. Look at the numbers, 49 career starts, 10 times he's gone to victory lane, better than 20%. Bodine starts 10th this afternoon. He likes the way his truck is driving. Perhaps he can get his 11th victory at a 1.5 mile track this afternoon at Atlanta.
Well, this will be not only the 50th start for Todd Bodine, but a 50th anniversary here for Atlanta Motor Speedway. We really want to congratulate Ed Clark and his crew here.
What a jewel this thing's turned into. I remember coming down here for the first time, Phil, back in 1983 to run my little dash car around here, and certainly changed. Remember all the pine trees that used to sit around the end of the racetracks? We'd come here to test. You'd have to take a blower and blow all the pine needles off the track. Now you got condos and suites everywhere.
How about that qualifying record back in 1997? The first year on this reconfigured track by Jeff Bodine, almost 197 and a half.
Fireball Roberts has won at this racetrack. Like Skinner, remember we saw they had problems earlier with a clutch situation, so they will have to start at the back, and we saw that they had their hood up before the start of this race. He's catching up to the back of the pack as we're getting ready to get underway. Kyle Busch again on the inside, and our pole winner on the outside, and Ron Hornaday. The pace truck pulls off of the racetrack. That puts the field into the hands of the 33 of Ron Hornaday. We're about to get underway with race number 2 of the 2010 season. Green flag in the air. We're racing.
Are they going to run them wide open this lap, Mikey? Look at Matt Crafton.
Crafton wide all the way to the bottom of the track. A little contact. Kyle Busch gets sideways.
I'm not sure Hornaday knew that they were 3 wide. He squeezed Kyle Busch, it looked like.
Matt Crafton is your leader going into turn 3. We told you it was going to be an interesting start to this race.
Tire smoke on Ron Hornaday's truck.
And Kyle Busch is in a vulnerable spot there, all down up underneath of Ron.
It looks like damage on the right front of that 18 of Kyle Busch as well.
Big damage.
Keep an eye on that 33 truck when we get in the corner. Watch this tire smoke.
That 18 truck's tore up, guys. That left front or right front corner is bashed in bad. You can tell he's pushing too, Phil. Just he can't hardly keep it off of Ron.
Now there may have been a little contact between the 18 and the 33 right by that left rear tire. Is that why we're seeing the tire smoke now?
I think that there's a fender rubbing. Absolutely, that's why we're seeing that tire smoke.
We've moved inside of Kevin Harvick's truck. That's his truck he sees smoking, so that's got to be a little bit concerning too.
Let's look back. This is going into turn 1 right as the green flag went up.
See, I don't think that Hornaday knew that they were 3 wide. He thought he had the 18 on the inside of him, and that's all that was there. Did not realize that Matt Crafton had made it 3 wide, and he squeezed Kyle Busch. That tire smoke may get a little bit better as these tires build up air pressure. Still there right now, though.
Well, and it looks like it's behind that left rear tire that it got pushed in. Could that be cutting his left rear tire?
It certainly could wear through it. You hope that the tire will push the metal away enough and relieve itself, but the metal obviously is tougher than the tire, so it's risky. Look at the right front, of this 18 truck. It's all crumbled up. Making good time, though.
Look how he made Kevin Harvick loose. Turned him sideways coming off of 2.
Those two battling for the 3rd spot. Again, numerous lines around this racetrack. Kyle Busch in the middle. Kevin Harvick, we expected to be down on the yellow line.
Look at all that damage, Rick. See the bumper all turned up on that 18 truck?
How about Kevin Harvick right on the rear tailgate of that 18 truck? Remember, just a lap ago, Kyle Busch pulled up right underneath that 2 truck and turned them sideways coming off turn 2.
Because of the tapered spacer as well as the tire that Goodyear gave us here, we talked about they'll be flat footing it all the way around this racetrack for at least another 5 laps.
Watch this now. Watch the 2 of Kevin Harvick right of your screen. This is 2 laps ago. Kyle Busch is going to pull right up behind him. Kevin was a little bit sideways. I'm not even sure there was any contact there, but Kyle took a lot of air off that rear spoiler of that truck. There's another view of it. Look how sideways Kevin got off of 2 there.
You can see the damage on Busch's truck there really clearly in that shot. I'm wondering how much that's hurting him, Phil, because it looks like instead of bashing it in, it pulled it out. It might actually give the front of the truck a little more downforce.
They really rely on the front half of that front fender for downforce, and as you see, that has it bloused out a little bit in the middle. Maybe at the bottom it may be tucked in a little bit.
Ray, what's Kevin Harvick talking about on the radio?
Well, keep in mind that he has got a good set of eyes on him and able to help his teammate Ron Hornaday out a little bit. Not only is Rick Corelli, the spotter for Hornaday, talking to him about how much damage is on the 33, but Harvick has had a real good look at it too. So he looked out there and he says, I think you're going to be okay. I'd stay out. I don't think it's going to wear through the tire at all. Adam?
How about Mike Skinner, Ray? Started dead last after changing a clutch post-qualifying, and he has worked his way into the top 20 in 5 laps. They felt like they had a truck that could get to the front. He was very comfortable with how this truck drove yesterday, and well, he's answering the bell here this afternoon under adverse conditions.
How about that 30 truck on the move? Todd Bodine started back in the 10th spot. That's him right there, right behind our 4th place truck of Kevin Harvick. We know how good he is on the mile and a half. He's won 10 times. We talked about before the green flag dropped. He's moving towards the front, Mikey.
Yeah, he's faster than these guys too. He's really making some time on him.
Todd Bodine has taken over the 5th spot.
He's Mr. Daytona, and he's Mr. Mile and a Half. Darn, he's pretty much got his game going on, didn't he?
We talked about the top 5, at least as far as the starters. We're going to have to keep our eye on him. Well, the guy who started 5th, Austin Dillon, he's actually dropped back to the 12th spot now. So it hasn't gone as well for him starting up front.
We got some comers and we got some goers.
Right now he's a goer.
Austin, remember last week last race at Daytona, only got it to turn 3 on the first lap. So he's back right where he needs to be. Just needs to be back there, make some laps and learn. That's what he needs to do.
I'm telling you guys, you watch this 2 truck. He's got a few laps on him now. He's going to start mowing them down. Running right down on the bottom in 1 and 2, and it seems Kyle Busch is faster around the top down there, but Kevin's dedicated to it. He hasn't moved up down in turn 1 and 2 yet.
Matt Crafton out in front. Hornaday runs 2nd. Harvick, Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine are your top 5.
There's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there.
Fixing to be real crowded at the front. Well, it already is. Look at that. There's your leader.
And we had a feeling these 4 guys were going to be battling up front this entire race. Look at Hornaday, look to the inside of Crafton.
Right along with Kyle Busch. Crafton moves up the racetrack a bit. Hornaday battling for the lead now as they go down the backstretch.
3 wide for the lead.
Kyle Busch with an aggressive move to the bottom of the track. 3 wide now. It's Kyle Busch in front. Hornaday down to the bottom. He's going to try to get back by Kyle Busch as they go out of 4.
Didn't we try that once on the first lap?
It didn't work out all that great.
They're better at it this time, though. They haven't run into each other yet.
Hornaday gets credit for leading that lap. I believe that puts him at 250 laps led at Atlanta. It took him 11 laps to get there, but he got another lap led.
Kyle Busch is going to lead the next lap. He's made his way to the front, running that high line.
That's what I love about this racetrack. You can run anywhere on. You see Kevin Harvick right on the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch right up against the wall, and Hornaday somewhere in between that.
And Todd Bodine.
That's Harvick.
Todd Bodine's watching all that side-by-side 3-wide action back there from the 5th spot, thinking, keep at it, guys. I'll join you in a minute.
Yeah. Well, we talk about consistent tire wear. These guys jockeying for position up front, is that going to wear their tires out a little quicker?
No, it's certainly, you'd like to just be riding along on your own, but you don't have any choice. You want to lead the race. You want to be out front. You want to be the story. and they know these tires are better than they're used to here. They don't know how good yet, Rick, and I think it's important for them to push those trucks early and see how well those tires will hold up.
And they know they're going to take these tires off, so it doesn't matter if they abuse these tires. They know they're going to get a fresh set here. You know, probably, I would think if the caution flag were to come out anytime after about 20-25 laps, I think you got to put tires on, don't you, Mikey?
Definitely.
It was a long time before we saw this 17 of Timothy Peters as we were watching the lead truck of Ron Hornaday go across the start-finish line and waited for Timothy Peters. He's currently running in the 14th spot, so he's moving up.
Well, what I love about Timothy Peters, Harvick to the bottom of the track, getting around his teammate for the second spot.
And Crafton.
Yeah,
he went from 4th to 2nd on that lap.
Closing in on the lead now.
Keep an eye on this now. This is Kevin Harvick. Coming off turn 2, yeah. Pulls up beside Matt Crafton. Kevin's been running the bottom of the racetrack primarily. He's going to dive off in the bottom. He's going to clear Crafton and go after Hornaday.
Wow.
What a corner, huh?
Yeah.
Look at the run he has down on the bottom of that racetrack.
Guess who's next?
Guess what? Here comes Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch on the outside for the lead. Harvick takes it away from Kyle Busch at the start-finish line.
Harvick said, I'm done playing. It's time to go.
We've only had 4 leaders in the first
16 laps.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good racing there.
Remember in our setup show, we had 4 leaders on one last lap.
I shouldn't be surprised there's 4 different leaders in 16 laps here at Atlanta. Kyle's dedicated to the top, Kevin's the bottom, and the bottom's winning out.
Right now. Now, will Kevin's tires go away and he'll have to get out of the throttle a little bit sooner?
I don't know. I like the bottom of the racetrack. They're down on power a little bit. The shortest way around the racetrack, obviously, is probably the best way when you don't have all the power. Now, tomorrow, those guys will be desperate for grip because they got all that horsepower. Today, it's more about handling, getting the truck to work around the corners, and that's what Harvick's doing. And another guy that's doing that up to the 4th spot, here comes Todd Bodine.
That's Night Train. Night Train Bodine.
Carrying the names of the gold medalists from the U.S. Olympic 4-man bobsled team, as well as the bronze medalist from the ladies 2-man bobsled team. Kevin Harvick out in front of this field at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was 3 wide early. There's already been contact, and we've got tire rub going on with our defending champ. We'd love to see you at the Grub and Rub at Martinsville Speedway. You can get reserved tickets for Saturday and Sunday's races, plus all-you-can-eat trackside breakfast on Saturday. Visit speedtv.com, keyword promo, or call 877-RACE-TICKETS.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there. Michael's going to be there.
Yeah.
The whole crew from the truck broadcast team. I bet he's going to be there. Kevin Harvick.
I think he's committed to being there.
Kevin's going to be there. He's
Oh,
out
crash,
front.
big crash.
Problems in turn 3.
Hornaday.
The 33 of
Left rear
Hornaday
tire, I bet
into the wall. We talked about it earlier. He had a tire rub on the left rear.
Guess what? It didn't last.
It didn't
Guess what?
last.
It didn't last.
Hurt him. A lot of damage to the back of that truck. This is one team who really couldn't afford another bad finish. They started off with a difficult start to the season at Daytona, and now this.
That's a huge crash. I just happened to watch Ron.
He was running third at the time, and look at the damage to this truck.
Remember, that truck has 1 race on it, a win last year at Homestead. 27th spot last time out at Daytona. Only once before have we had the champion finish worse than 15th at Daytona, and that was Mike Bliss. Only one time before.
He can't even move now that he's in the grass. Let's take a look here.
Watch how fast this happens. Boom. Tire blows and into the wall he goes. Thank the Lord for those safer barriers.
Good job. Woo.
That truck into that, if that had hit concrete,
I'm trying to figure it out myself.
I've done it before, Phil, as have you. It's just amazing the difference these safer barriers make for these guys. Look at the damage on that truck.
Wow. All the way up to the back window, it looks like. Up to the cab. Leaders on pit road.
Pit road is open. Here comes Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. They are leading the field onto pit road. Adam Alexander.
Matt Crafton started this race in 3rd, led a handful of laps, then dropped back to 5th. He's 4th as we come to pit road. He said the truck is loose. 4 tires fuel. They will do air pressure to try to tighten him up, Ray.
Gonna have to do a little bit of work on that right front fender for the number 18 of Kyle Busch. They're gonna go with 4 tires. He also wants to be tightened up. He was regular snappy loose. Kevin Harvick getting 4 tires here in the Easy Go Chevrolet. No adjustments for the 2.
then Kyle just sat there. You saw he didn't take off when the crew was done. They wanted to do some work on that right front.
He's going to give up all the track position.
It looked like there was a bit of a miscommunication there. Maybe they thought it was okay and he wanted to work on it.
So the first caution of the day comes out, and this actually is one of the reasons for it. There was some damage to the right front of that 18. It was because he got into the 33 of Ron Hornaday. Well, that eventually cuts the left rear tire of Ron Hornaday, and Hornaday into the wall. So after 17 laps of racing, it's all over for Ron Hornaday at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Get the best gear for the best fishing season ever at Gander Mountain's first cast event, where you'll find the latest high-performance fishing gear from all the top brands. It's the first cast event at Gander Mountain. You live outdoors, shop the store, the catalog, or online with free shipping everywhere. Our lucky dog goes to the 39.
Ryan Sieg, he's going to join his brother Shane and 22 other trucks to remain on the lead lap here after 26 laps.
Yeah, Aaron's just gave him a lap back.
And Aaron's is from Atlanta.
Yeah. They'll give you a lap back on your credit if you're down on your luck a little bit.
First caution comes out. It was actually lap 24 that Ron Hornaday, and that left rear tire expired, so that is what's left of that race truck. Welcome back. Easy Go 200 about to get back underway. Here comes the field through the quad oval. Green flag back in the air. Kevin Harvick, Todd Bodine, Steve Wallace, Eric Almirola, and Matt Crafton were your top 5.
Look at Steve Wallace jump to the inside of Todd Bodine, making it 3 wide.
The guy starting third's got an advantage, doesn't he? Maybe if you win the pole, you ought to restart third. Look at these trucks battling up front, 3 wide.
Got to keep an eye on Kyle Busch. He restarted this race back in 18th.
How long do you think that'll last?
I'd say he'll be in the top 10, maybe in one lap.
3 wide. Matt Crafton on the inside, and on the outside, the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Here comes Todd Bodine through the middle.
There's Kyle Busch looking down at the bottom. He would be in the top 10 if he hadn't run into a roadblock.
13th that first time by.
Justin Lofton in the 7, just in front of that 18 of Kyle Busch.
Look at him around the top now. He's going to pass, what, 4 in that turn? Is that possible?
Yeah, he'll be well into the top 10 by the time they get back around.
Right on the back bumper now of the 88 of Matt Crafton. He goes to the high side once again. We'll see if he can get by Crafton.
No problem, Rick. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. This is going to be about 6th.
And crossing the stripe, Kyle Busch, 6th.
18th to 6th, 2 laps.
Kevin Harvick with a very strong race truck now. Kyle Busch goes to the outside of Johnny Sauter. Made Johnny Sauter look like he was standing still as he went by, and down the backstretch they go.
And the interesting thing about that, Phil, that last time by, he was only a 1/2 of a second off of our leader, Kevin Harvick, and he passed 5 trucks in 1 turn.
Well, he's a little bit motivated right now. What a great job by the Stephen Wallace in his first ever Camping World Truck Series race. Rides along now in the 2nd position, right behind Kevin Harvick. That's his teammate Eric Almirola right behind him. We were used to seeing those 2 trucks run up front last year, but it was Eric in the 15 truck and Kyle Busch in the 51 truck.
Oh, a spectator now, Ron Hornaday. Let's go down to him with Adam Alexander.
Hornaday has walked from the infield care center. The cut tire sends you into the wall, but obviously this all a product of what happened on the opening lap. Take us through the battle between you and Busch, Ron.
Well, it wasn't about Busch. Busch didn't do nothing wrong. It was 3 wide, you know, and just, you know, you're already in the corner. When they said 3 wide, I couldn't go back up there and come back down. So just his right front's tore up pretty good and got in my left rear. And it quit smoking. You know, Kevin was back there and said it quit smoking all good. And then for no reason it popped. So hate to see it. The Longhorn Chevrolet was really good. We're a little free right then, but Doug would have made some adjustments. Would have been fine. But hate to see it, but thought we had a good truck, and we'll come back.
We'll show you in the monitor exactly what happened at the start of the race, Ron. Here's the replay. Take us through what you see.
Well, you can see it's 3 wide right there already, you know. I know where to go.
Did you know Crafton was coming down low to make it 3 wide?
Well, I looked in the mirror, thought Kevin was going on the outside. They said 3 wide right when I started arcing in there. As you can see, when I came down, I came back up. So now you don't know that. And Crafton was back there spinning the tires, keeping them pretty warm, so he was ready to go. And Kyle and I spun our tires a little bit, and that's what got him to run.
Hard hit. Glad you're all right.
Thank you.
Well, they're second, third, fourth, and fifth. They're all bunched up. Harvick's been able to slip away from them a little bit there, Phil.
Yeah, look at their start from Ron Hornaday's start last year. 5th at Daytona, 6th here, 27th at Daytona this year, and somewhere back in the 30s.
Definitely no better than 30th today.
Yeah.
I don't think they could fix that truck, do you?
No, I don't think so.
And right now he scored 34th. There were 2 trucks that were off the racetrack prior to Hornaday's accident, Chad McCumbee and Mike Harmon. Now let's go back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, let's talk a little about Stephen Wallace. He says his truck really likes the high groove on the racetrack. That's where he's been driving a good portion of the day. Very, very loose on the first run, so they went down 2.5 rounds on the track bar. That'll help tighten his truck up a good bit. His crew chief, Cowboy Starlin, came on the radio and said, we're going to have to ride for a while right now. If we get a caution coming up in just a little while, we don't have the tires to put on each and every time. You have to realize we're going to have to do tire management here. So trying to teach Stephen a little bit about the differences between Nationwide and Camping World Truck Racing. Kyle Busch on the move.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is about to put him back to 3rd. Kyle Busch has now got to the back bumper of that 15 of Steve Wallace. Now Busch goes to the bottom of the racetrack, taking 2nd away from Steve Wallace.
What a great truck Kyle Busch has right now.
I think Steve saw Kyle coming and said, I'm going to go up to the top and run his line, take it away from him. Kyle said, okay, well,
I'll go higher.
I'll switch your line.
I'll go bottom. I'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to just pass them where they ain't.
Mike Skinner in the 7th position now. Again, he had to start this race from the back of the field because of adjustments that they made after qualifying.
Trying to make his way by the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Kevin Harvick out front, Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, Steve Wallace, Eric Almirola. They're your top 5. Then Matt Crafton, Mike Skinner, Johnny Sauter, Timothy Peters into the top 10, as well as Donnie Leah.
What a great run for Timothy Peters. He was back there with Skinner when they started and just worked his way through the field as well.
Todd Bodine won at this racetrack before. He's won more at 1.5-mile racetracks than any other driver, and Todd Bodine now running in the 3rd spot.
Kyle Busch was still about 0.4 of a second slower than Kevin Harvick that lap.
We'll see if Todd Bodine can reel in that 18 of Kyle Busch. Steve Wallace has dropped back to the 5th spot now after running 2nd for a few laps. Kevin Harvick again setting the pace. He was good in practice yesterday. Qualifying run earlier today. Started 4th in this race. Didn't take long for that truck to flex its muscles. Now he's in front. Tonight, the Rolex Sports Car Series rolls into South Florida for the 2nd race of the season. Find out if Patrick Dempsey, fresh off a 6th-place finish in Daytona, has what it takes to make a run at the GT Championship. The Rolex Sports Car Series live from Homestead, Miami tonight, 5 Eastern, only on Speed.
Darren Law and David Donahue, team drivers, on the pole for that race.
Saw a look at downtown Atlanta. We're about 15 miles south of there, and things have gone south for KHI today. The 33 of Ron Hornaday already out of that race truck. The left rear tire cut and into the wall.
Well, half of KHI.
They've gone north and south.
Yeah, the other half's doing pretty well, isn't it, Ray?
Yeah, Harvick's saying he really likes the way his truck is rolling through. But you know, guys, I wanted to add on Hornaday's situation just a little bit. I wrote a column this week on SpeedTV.com talking about how do you get out of the hole of Daytona if things go badly. Well, guess what? Ron Hornaday really in a hole right now. No person has ever gone on to win the championship in the Camping World Truck Series if they post 3 finishes of 30th or worse. And Ron Hornaday flirting with 2 of those already in the first 2 races of the season.
Kevin Harvick is trying to stomp the field right here.
Phil, he's consistently beating people half a second a lap. That lap he was in some traffic, but let's go inside that truck and see if we can hear exactly how much gas he's using. Is he letting off at all, you think?
Well, he's not letting off much if he is.
You can see the lead back to Kyle Busch.
Kyle being shown over 5 seconds behind. Let's ride along with Kyle. Listen.
He's out of the gas on entry.
Now back in it hard.
Little bit of a burp off the turn. Probably a little tight, Kyle is pushing off the turn, considering the way that sounded.
He's going to have to go to the high side. You hear him all the way out of the throttle, entering 3 and pedaling it a little bit through the center.
So the grip has definitely gone away. We can hear Kyle playing with the gas quite a lot on his lap. I mean, he's more wide open than he is off the gas, obviously, in the turns, but still having to mess with the gas.
Wow, does he come up on those other trucks quickly.
Now he's running the high line.
Kyle Busch 5.7 seconds behind Kevin Harvick, and there is your race leader crossing the stripe now.
Pedaled a little bit there, out of it, not clear out of the throttle, it didn't sound like.
But on exit, Kevin's truck just looks like it stays down lower. It's freer, I think. Stays down lower, and he didn't have to do the breathing it off the turn. Listen.
Sounds like Kevin comes maybe about half out of the throttle, then back down hard, stays wide open all the way on the exit of the corner as well.
He's taking the shortest way around here, right down on the bottom. He's like that from the beginning. When the race first started, they were on newer tires. His line wasn't the fastest. Those guys on the outside could keep him pinned down. But once he got in clear track, he was able to use that low groove to get away from these guys.
Austin Dillon running 17th right now, able to get by the 60 of Stacy Compton. So that should move him up to potentially the 15th position, 16th position now as he goes by Compton.
If he looks in his mirror, Kevin Harvick ain't too far behind him. You want to make sure you avoid going a lap down this early in the race.
Kevin is still able to run below 32 flat. Nobody else on the racetrack is even remotely able to get close to that. His last lap was a 31.96. His best lap of the race was a 31.24. Only 7/10 of a second drop off. That's exactly what Goodyear was looking for when they built this tire and brought it here.
Be ready right front. Be ready.
Uh-oh.
Heard him talking about right front.
Haven't heard any concerns about
Coming in.
Oh, problems with that number 60 of Stacy Compton.
Right
Says
side,
coming in.
the fuel. Right side the fuel.
So they're getting set up for Stacy Compton to come on to pit road. Oh, it looks like it just blew out.
That could bring out a caution.
Oh, there's some debris on the racetrack. I think it definitely will bring out a caution.
Tread from the 60 on the backstretch now.
Blue. It's blue.
Yeah, no caution yet.
These teams, here comes the
caution. Just came out.
These teams will be really concerned about that for a short period of time so they can get to pit road and see what their right front tire looks like, right?
Absolutely.
Second caution of the day has come out. This time it's Stacy Compton with a blown right front tire. You see some of the debris on the racetrack. Again, that was coming out of turn 2 at blue. He knew it was going to be a problem. He moved down the racetrack coming off of turn 2, getting ready to come onto pit road, but still moving along at a fast enough pace that tire shredded.
Yeah, and you can see all the damage it did to the right front corner of that truck. He's got his hood bent, his nose torn apart. But because Stacy had such a good feel for that truck and realized he had a problem, he kept him from going into the wall, but he certainly hurt his truck.
He lost a lap in the process. Kevin Harvick was able to pass him as he slowed down to make his way towards pit road.
Not careful, he's going to lose another one. Trucks are over in turns 3 and 4 coming to the pits. I guess we'll see them all down pit road, Phil.
See the new gassing procedure. Only one man over there with that gas can, with a self-fitting gas can. Stacy's able to drive back off of pit road. He will only be the 1 lap down.
Pit crews awaiting their trucks to come onto pit road. A couple guys that have already exited this race. Ryan Hackett, Tim Bainey Jr. and Butch Miller also on or behind the wall in the garage. Let's go to pit road and Adam Alexander.
And the word for Matt Crafton is we needed this caution. I was starting to pick up a vibration, still just a bit free in the turns. It was better on that run. They will continue to work on adjusting this truck. 4 tires and fuel. This stop happening at lap 54, Ray.
They're going to go down on air pressure on the right sides for Kyle Busch. He's saying, I'm looking for much more side bite. Look for a chassis adjustment on the left side. At the top of your screen, Kevin Harvick, he said, let's get 4 tires, absolutely no adjustments. Ernie Cope was toying with a little air pressure change on the right front. Kevin said, no, it's perfect right like it is. Not only was he lightning fast on the racetrack, same thing in the pits.
So the field races off of pit road. They'll get lined back up for our double file restart. Only 2 cautions through 55 laps of racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The big one happening for Ron Hornaday early, and then most recently Stacy Compton out of this one.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
Thank you. You know, at Camping World, they'll drive you around the lot so that you can pick out your absolute favorite motorhome. Is it a Class C unit or is it the Mac Daddy Class A? Well, maybe you're not quite ready to commit to purchasing a motorhome. Well, guess what? They actually have a rental program from coast to coast, and you can even get it going one way. You want to start out in New Jersey and end up in Florida? No problem, they can do it. And starting at just $19.95 a day, you can find out if RVing is just right for you.
Welcome back to Easy Go 200 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. The field back out on the racetrack.
My friend Rick Allen rented a motorhome and took his family across the country, decided he really liked it. And my spotlight driver, Brad Sweet, got the Aaron's lucky dog on this most recent caution, so he's got a chance to get his race back in line.
You've got a little news from Aaron's coming up here in the next month or so.
I'm going to drive for Prism Motorsports at Talladega.
That's a great team, too.
Yeah, Phil Parsons is going to be my car owner.
Adam Alexander.
And when Matt Crafton came to pit road there, they looked at his tires, but Hafele said they look better than they've ever looked here at Atlanta. A good sign for the rest of this race. Be interesting to see how that plays out in strategy as we go green.
Great start for Todd Bodine down on the inside of Kevin Harvick, is able to drive right up beside Kevin, and look at Kyle Busch.
Looks to the outside of Kevin Harvick, and Kevin Harvick closed the door on this restart. We'll see how long it takes Kyle Busch to battle with them.
3 or 4 wide at least. Look at him.
3 wide as they go into turn number 3.
Here comes Donnie Lee all up in the middle of it too.
They crafted down the bottom of the racetrack, and then 88 still side by side.
Donnie Lee is okay with 3 wide. We see him win one of the coolest finishes we've had in the Truck Series.
The 3 wide on the last lap, going in 3 on a half-mile track.
Kevin Harvick, top 9. Yep, still 1 and 2.
Look at that battle for the lead.
Kyle Busch running second. Now it might drop him back to 4th, because here comes Crafton to the outside. Now another battle for the lead. Todd Bodine had taken it away from the 2 of Harvick, but here comes Harvick once again on the bottom.
Remember, we heard how these guys, after about 25 laps on their tires, were pedaling a little bit, backing off. I'd say right now with these fresh tires, they're holding it down wide open, Mikey.
And Steve Wallace is right there in that 5th spot thinking, I've never had any more fun than this in my whole life. Right now, when you're racing 3 wide for the lead and be a part of that battle, that's as good as it gets.
Todd Bodine back out in front. Here comes Kyle Busch for the lead. Busch to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take the top spot away from Todd Bodine.
Look at Harvick side by side with Crafton for the 3rd spot. Now he's going after Todd Bodine.
Kevin Harvick to the bottom of the racetrack. He takes 2nd away from Todd Bodine for now. The lead has changed about 3 times in those 3 laps.
Oh, sideways. That's going to be a crash.
Crafton into the 30 of Todd
Hang
Bodine.
on to her, Todd.
Look at Bodine trying to keep it off the wall.
Hold the brake. Got him coming at you.
The caution has come out. Todd Bodine, what an amazing save.
88 got him.
The 88 and the 30, there is contact made, and both of them still drive away from that, but there's damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the 88. I think the 30 is going to be okay.
Yeah, 30, just between the tires is the best place to have that damage. That's where it looks like the damage is located on the 30 truck. He's going to need 4 new tires, though, and unfortunately, these guys only have 5 sets of tires for the weekend. More than likely killed a set in practice, so they only had 4 sets of tires for the race. They started on a set. This may be the only set of tires, the last set of tires. NASCAR may allow them another set of tires because they're all going to be flat, just as the 88's tires are flat.
A lot of damage to the back of that truck as well.
Matt Crafton was down on the inside, and he just got loose, Phil. It's really difficult. You know, you take for granted, you see Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick and these guys make those big dives down into the corner underneath another guy. You begin to take for granted that must be pretty easy to do. I think we saw right there with Matt Crafton that it's very difficult to do, and you can't just take for granted that you're going to cut it in there and make the pass. these trucks really rely on that air to lean against when they're in the turn to keep them going steady. And when there's a truck on the outside of them, it robs all that air off their trucks and makes them very difficult to drive.
And just a handful of laps after the restart, they're all running so hard, they're running probably a half a second faster than they were running prior to their pit stop. Ray?
Doesn't look, Phil, to me like very much damage here on the 30. On the left rear, just a little bit of fender damage there. The crew members pulling on that. They look at the right rear. Everything's good. 4 tires go on here. Real smoothly. They've got a chance to check this thing out. The pace car just coming to the front of the line now. Adam?
And the concentration for the 88 team was on the right side of the truck. That's where he sustained most of his damage, but they do plan to come back. They did not get all the repairs made they needed to, so they're going to come back, and this time they will work on the right front. Disappointed is Crafton. He really felt like they had a truck that could win today. Now they're just going to have to battle for some points.
Take another look at what happened.
There they are, side by side. You see Crafton start sliding up off the bottom of the racetrack. Then he gets loose, and he has to chase the truck up the hill. And when he did, he made contact with the left rear of Todd Bodine.
And you can see a pretty good shot into the wall on that 88 truck. So he's probably knocked the toe off. The wheels won't be pointing in the right direction in the front, and that'll mess him up. Check it out. Just starts to push up the hill a little bit. Like I said, no air to lean on. The truck doesn't want to turn right. And then eventually he's just got to, he runs into Todd Bodine and causes them both to crash.
Todd does a nice job not getting into the outside wall any harder than he did. Made slight contact. See his tear off flapping around.
Watch Todd too, Phil. Great point. Watch him how long he leaves his foot on the floor. He's sliding right now. Now he's wide open trying to get that thing to keep from spinning out. And then he's smart enough to know to let off the gas and save the truck from running into the inside wall. Just a great job by Todd Bodine.
It's going to be a great shot from Kevin Harvick's easy go on board here.
Behind you there. No caution yet. Caution's out. 88 went right into the 30.
That's pretty much what happened. We saw it just like that.
Let's ride along.
Clear low.
Matt Crafton.
I'm in trouble.
30 still out there.
Boom.
Got loose. Got to the 30 there. Got to the fence to get some stuff ready to fix the right side.
And they did work on that right side. He's back on pit road. They're doing some more work to the 88 of Matt Crafton. We'll be right back for more racing from Atlanta. Welcome back to Hampton, Georgia, and Atlanta Motor Speedway. The lucky dog goes to the 39 of Ryan Sieg, so he will get a lap back courtesy of Aaron's.
That's 2 for him. Aaron's doesn't discriminate. If you need 2 laps back, they'll give you those 2.
This should be an interesting restart. Harvick on the inside, Kyle Busch on the outside, green flag in the air.
Shoot, they're even giving me a ride in Talladega.
How about Mike Skinner has his nose stuck up under the tailgate of that 18 truck?
I love listening to him after qualifying this morning. He said, we're going to start from back. I don't care. We got a great truck. I'll be a part of the story for it's over.
Contact. That was Steve Wallace on the bottom of the racetrack. Looked like he was trying to make a move for the lead, and he took it away.
Looked like there was a little contact between Steven and Kevin Harvick.
Got him a little loose, I think, coming out of turn number 2. Kevin Harvick didn't appreciate it. He came down the racetrack to let him know. And Steve Wallace is your race leader at Atlanta.
How about that first ever Truck Series race, and he's leading in Atlanta.
Got the heat on him, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be too long before Kevin Harvick comes up and says, oh, by the way, you may have touched me on that pass.
Remember me?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hope you don't forget.
I'm Kev. Remember me?
I've run a few races in this series.
Both he and Kyle Busch are all over Steve.
But impressive run for Steve Wallace and Billy Blue Motorsports here at Atlanta. Yeah, it didn't take long for the 18 and the 2 to catch right back up to that 15. Now to the outside goes Kyle Busch.
We're probably going to find out how mad that made Kevin. He might be over it by now.
Steve said, well, I'll move over it. No, I'll move back up to the top.
I don't think breaking the draft would work here.
Yeah, but it's that element of surprise. Why do you do that for? Might ought to give him a little space.
He's going to leave the bottom of the racetrack open now for Kyle Busch.
Kyle will take it and try to take the lead away from that 15.
He's got it. He has him cleared. He can move up the racetrack out in front of Steven.
Steve Wallace runs second now, and right on his back bumper will be the 2 into the wall again, the 88 of Matt Crafton.
down if he can. Come down if he can.
Damage continuing for the 88
Take it
team.
to the garage so we can work on it there.
Amazingly enough, the 33 of Ron Hornaday was the first to get involved in an accident, and now second place in the points from a year ago, Matt Crafton with troubles.
Well, remember how he came out of Daytona with such a great spot, finishing in the top 5 down there. All his championship contenders, or most of his championship contenders, maybe with the exception of Todd Bodine, all had trouble. Guess what? He has trouble the second race.
Yeah, and you know, it's a shame when you got a fast truck, too. He had a truck in practice that was faster than everyone's, but he got it in the wall when he made contact with Todd Bodine.
And that cut a tire down right there, it looked like.
The damage from the accident he had earlier obviously didn't get all cleared away, and the right front tire was cut. It might have bent the toe end off enough to where maybe a sway bar arm got into that right front tire. It might not even have been fender damage that did it. Some of the suspension components could have dug into that tire.
Listen in, we'll ride along with him.
Red truck will be the one you're chasing, still inside.
You heard it. You heard something pop.
You know, when you have
Hold on, 2 more.
Really,
come down if he can.
Really fortunate that he was up high, so the damage is going to be minimal. But you heard Bud Hafley say, let's take it to the garage so we can fix it right.
Look what minimal is. The whole right front's tore off of it. So
what if that truck is at the bottom of the racetrack, though, and that thing turns hard right when that right front tire blows?
His right front corner looked like Ron's left rear did earlier.
Great crowd on hand here at Atlanta Motors Speedway. Out in front, it's Kyle Busch, Steve Wallace, Kevin Harvick. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. By Touch of Gray, gets rid of some of gray, never all. And by Verizon, America's largest 3G network.
I think it might possibly be about time for me to touch up, Rick.
No, I think you're good, Mike. Don't worry about touching anything up. The 95 of Jeffrey Bodine gets the Aaron's lucky dog, so he'll get a lap back.
Would that be gold, you think, for Jeff?
Well, I think it's a lap.
It gives him a chance to, gives him a better chance to get gold.
To go for the gold, right?
That's right.
Gives him another
He got
shot.
off to such a great start today. He was running in the top 10 forever. Then he found himself a lap down. Maybe he can rebound from that.
Something we don't normally see at Camping World Truck Series events. Ron Hornaday in street clothes watching now with Delano Harvick after his accident on lap 24. We'll be back. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Easy Go 200 for the Camping World Truck Series. It's event number 2 of the 2010 season. That's the quarter-mile track right there in front of the grandstands.
Last night they had a barn burner for a race on that quarter-mile track. Tim Brown ran second to Corey LaJoie by about a foot. These guys are going to line up tonight and race on that quarter mile after we're done here with these trucks.
Yeah, legend cars and bandoleros, which you can't say enough about Ed Clark, Bruton Smith, and what all they do. And Bruton Smith, by the way, is going to be on Monday night's Race Hub, 7:30 right here on Speed.
He's going to be talking about a race they're going to have, $1 million purse for these cars,
with $250,000 to the winner.
There's race car drivers up in the Cup garage saying, darn, I might ought to take a look at running that darn thing.
I'll actually be there on the Race Hub with Bruton. Is there questions you guys would like to ask him?
No, I just want to thank him. I want to thank him for putting all that money up for these grassroots racers that are going to have a chance to race for $1 million. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, pretty amazing. Speaking of amazing, Adam Alexander.
Matt Crafton sitting idle in the garage, not where he would like to be. Matt, you obviously had tight quarter racing with Todd Bodine, got a little loose. Take us through what happened there.
I just fought loose. I mean, I fought loose pretty much all day long into the corner, and I knew he was just barely there, and it just started sucking me around, and I wanted to chase it right, and he was there. I mean, I hate it for all these guys and for Todd and them as well. It's the last thing we wanted, but these guys are working hard on it and get back out there and gather some points.
And you can tell they learned what it's all about to run for a championship a year ago. The crew has been very focused in getting this truck back into a condition where it can go on track, make good speed, and earn some laps so they can gain those all-important points. They will be a championship contender at year's end.
Yeah, Adam, they started out with 2 top 10 finishes last year in the first 2 races.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, just wanted to let you know about a group that's sitting in the grandstand right now. Kyle Busch from his foundation gave away a bunch of tickets to some young kids from the Kerry Steel Pits home, which is right here in Atlanta. And check it out, all those white shirts over there, every time that 18 comes rolling by, they all jump up and down and cheer. Pretty cool.
That is unbelievable. I'm so happy for those kids and so proud of Kyle. What a great thing to do. He's got hell of a good back on his truck in this race. He talked about that before the event. He's got his own team, Phil, and you and I both know the struggles and how difficult it is. You have the desire to have a race team if you're a race car driver from the time you're a kid. And the most difficult thing about having a team is a sponsor, and Kyle's got him one on there today.
Green flag back in the air. It's Kyle Busch on the outside of row number 1. Jumps out to the lead. Right behind him, Steve Wallace in that number 15. Then Kevin Harvick in the 2.
Steve slides up the racetrack, opens up the bottom for Kevin Harvick.
Trying to keep that momentum up on the outside is the 15 of Kevin Harvick.
Kyle Busch tried to pull over and block Kevin, but Kevin was in there.
How about Kevin Harvick taking over the top spot from Kyle Busch? A little loose there for the 18. He'll lose second to the 15.
Stephen Wallace.
For a while, I was going to say it looks like he's battling right back, though.
Well, these restarts have been fun, haven't they?
Yeah, every time they throw the green flag, whoever's running third winds up first.
There's Rick Crawford. Circle bar on board right there. Rick's running.
Oh, look at there, contact.
And they're in
Crash
the wall
right in front of Rick.
Crawford.
Clear to the bottom.
The 93 and the 7. The 7 of Justin Lofton and the 93 of Shane Sieg involved in this incident right in front of Rick Crawford.
All right, stay there, stay there. Good job, stay there, stay there.
Sieg did what Matt Crafton did, Phil. He just got sideways and got up into Justin Lofton. He just couldn't get off of him.
Yeah, Justin was an innocent bystander right there.
Those guys were running in 6th and 7th spot.
Yep, battling for the 6th spot.
Man, that's a shame to see a couple guys like that having such a solid run. And Shane's from right here in Tucker, Georgia. Justin's from California.
See the damage on that number 7.
You see a 2009 ARCA Racing Series champion. What a great battle he had with Parker Kligerman the entire season. He won 6 times last year, including the race at Talladega, the ARCA Series race at Talladega.
Didn't he win by 5 points?
Clear to
5 points. Yeah. Amazing battle. Watch Sieg here. He's down on the bottom. He starts pushing up the hill, and he just
had to chase it up the hill, and unfortunately Justin was there. Had Justin not been there, Shane may have had enough room to catch that truck, but Justin didn't do anything wrong. He just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
They slide down the back stretch. Here again, you take a look at it coming off of turn 2.
We're riding along with Rick Crawford. He is right behind us. You're going to watch him duck by the 14 truck.
As does Jason White. We hadn't said a lot about Jason. Didn't qualified on the pole at Daytona. Was way back in qualifying here. But you'll see him slip to the bottom here. Here comes Crawford and Jason White. These trucks are all battling in the top 10, Phil.
Yeah, tough break. There's another view. Justin is absolutely as high as he can go. He's right up against the wall, and Shane said, I need some more room.
They scatter down behind them. Coming off the wall.
It's great to see some of the guys that are running in the top 10. A couple of them there won't be now.
So again, this time it's Shane Sieg and Justin Lofton that are involved. Rick Crawford had a front row seat to this battle that didn't end so well for those two drivers. We'll be right back with more from Atlanta. Tomorrow, NASCAR Race Day soars into Atlanta. Tune in as the points leader Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, and crew chief Alan Gustafson join us live. We'll break down the fallout at Earnhardt Ganassi after their wreck in Las Vegas. NASCAR Race Day built by Home Depot live tomorrow, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. If you're just joining us here in Atlanta, take a look at what happened. Well, we knew we were going to have an exciting start to this race. We just didn't know there would be that much contact early on.
That was lap number 1, and this is the aftermath of that. Ron Hornaday, because of that damage, has a tire go down left rear, hard into the outside wall, ends his day early.
Second week in a row.
Kyle Busch had a little damage to the right front, so they decided they were going to fix it. And it has worked because Kyle Busch has been able to run very well right up through the pack and get up and lead laps here in Atlanta.
Lap number 60, Matt Crafton gets loose on the bottom of the racetrack, makes contact with the 30 of Todd Bodine, spins him out. Matt ends up coming back again with a flat tire. Here it is right here. From the damage, he had a tire rub, tire down into the outside wall, Mike.
You could hear that tire bust, and this time the damage sent him to the garage area to get some work done to that Chevy.
Lap 75, problems for the 93 of Shane Sieg. He gets up into the 7 of Justin Lofton, takes both trucks into the wall.
Very much like Matt Crafton, got loose on the bottom, had to chase his truck up the hill. Unfortunately for Justin Lofton, he was there and they made contact.
And Justin had given him all the room he had. Justin was scrubbing along the wall trying to give Shane enough room to keep him from wrecking, but there wasn't to be.
Kevin Harvick in front of the field now. There have been 6 different people out in front, 9 different changes. The average speed just over 111 miles per hour. We've had 5 cautions for 22 caution laps.
Well, Rick,
8 trucks are out of the race.
There's our lucky dog, the 56 of Taylor Mossam. He hadn't been able to show the pace in his Kyle Busch Motorsports truck that Kyle has shown, but now he's got a chance to get back on the lead lap and see if he can't do something with these guys. You know, Phil, we've talked about 100 times the guy running third seems to have the advantage on these
on every start, it seems like.
So Stephen Wallace is sitting in that third spot now. We'll see if he can't do like he did earlier and take them 3 wide and go into turn 1 with the lead. Adam, what's happening?
It was very interesting when this caution first came out, and the question was, do I come to pit road or do I not? Mike Skinner was talking with his crew chief, Gene Meade. Gene saw Harvick dropping down. He said, pit, pit, pit. And then he said, no, no, no. So Skinner was going back and forth, and after he was able to get back on track, he said to his crew chief, next time, could you just say, do what they do? Gene said, yeah, we'll do that. And Skinner said, it's all in love. Ray?
Adam, just before the race started, I was on the grid. Kevin Harvick came up and said, do me a favor, give a little shout out, if you would, to Lori Parkhurst. She is the wife of Mike Parkhurst, who's the vice president of sales for Easy Go, and they're the sponsor on Kevin Harvick's race truck today. She's just 40 years old, but after 5 years of remission, found out that her breast cancer has returned. So they've got a special sticker on the side of the truck today for Lori and for all the women out there who are fighting through breast cancer. Certainly a big part of so many people's lives in NASCAR. And Kevin today with a little extra motivation out there. Very, very good race truck for Kevin Harvick. They're hoping to pit sometime around lap 100 to 110, depending on how the cautions go, and get their final set of tires.
Easy Go on the hood, as well as the title sponsor of this race. Green flag back in the air.
That's a great point by Ray. We have 50 laps to go, actually 49 laps to go right now. They could have made it on fuel from here, but they want to save that last set of tires. They want a fresh set of tires with maybe 20-25 laps to go.
In a perfect world, but you never know when that caution's going to fly, so these crew chiefs are going to be forced to make a decision at some point. When do we put those darn tires on?
Battle is on for second now. Steve Wallace on the inside, Kyle Busch on the outside. Looks like Kyle Busch is going to have the advantage as they come out of turn number 4. A little momentum.
There goes Steve. He went from third to second. He couldn't quite get to first, but he did make some progress from that third spot.
And looking to the inside, that 51 of Eric Almirola now trying to get into the mix of things going on.
Steve got loose on the bottom, didn't he?
He just was fortunate he didn't have somebody up beside him, so he's able to slide up the hill and not cause anything, any crash.
Ray, how is Billy Baloo Motorsports doing today?
Doing absolutely great, Rick, and these two drivers have the ability to switch over on the radio channel. So under caution, the two of them been kind of laughing back and forth, talking a little bit. Eric just asked Steve, what do you think of your truck? And Steven told him the wedge adjustments have been the best thing for him so far today. Eric asked him if you're having fun. He said, yeah, but I have a feeling these final 20 or 30 in this race are going to get pretty crazy.
They normally do here.
He must have been watching some of the truck races on speed. We have a party at the end of the race.
A total margin of victory over 10 races here is less than 5 seconds, which means if you divide that out, every time it's been an average of less than a half a second for the margin of victory.
How about Todd Bodine battling back, and now he's back up into the top 10. He's running 6th. Just on the outside of Mike Skinner, or inside of Mike Skinner. Took 5th away from Skinner.
The good news for Todd Bodine, NASCAR allowed him to get another set of tires for those tires that he flat spotted and actually blew out. Flat spotted, blew out when he got turned by Matt Crafton. So he does have an extra set of tires, just like every one of the rest of these guys in the pits for that last stop.
Yeah, they're all even on tires as we're heading down to the final stages of this race. Adam.
Haven't talked about Johnny Sauter a lot today. He finds himself riding in the 8th position He is not totally satisfied with his truck, but when you consider how bad they were early in the practice session yesterday, he has to be satisfied riding in the top 10. This is the same vehicle he drove to victory at Las Vegas late last year. They have some confidence, and more importantly than anything else, they really want to bounce back from the disappointment they had at Daytona. And just behind him, you can see the red truck of Rick Crawford. He's riding right behind Jason White and right alongside Ricky Carmichael. This team didn't know they were coming to the racetrack for sure until Wednesday evening, but they have come here and put together a nice package. Crawford trying for another top 10 at Atlanta.
We talk about Jason White there. That's the first time we've mentioned him maybe. What a great job he did at Daytona. Sat on the pole, had a top 5 finish, in contention to win that race, the entire race.
And he's the reason why Timothy Peters won the race. Timothy said after the race he was content to sit there with Todd, but then here comes Jason White. Jason wasn't content to sit anywhere. He dove to the outside of the track. Timothy was just fortunate enough to get barely up in front of Jason, pushed Timothy to the victory. Another guy we hadn't said a lot about, solid run for Ricky Carmichael. Logging laps right there, running down along in the 11th spot, trying to grab 10th away from Jason White.
Remember, a new race team here, Turner Motorsports. Started a little bit last year, but they're going to run full-time with Ricky. This is a full-time deal, multi-year deal with Monster Energy Drinks. So great things in store for Ricky Carmichael.
And a great pass there on the 23 of Jason White. So Ricky Carmichael doing it behind the wheel. He's actually going to get behind the camera later on today. He's going to Daytona to help with part of the broadcast on Speed.
Excellent.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Rick, you know how Ricky Carmichael's getting down to Florida?
I'm guessing he's going to fly.
Kevin Harvick.
He is going to fly with Kevin Harvick, and Delana just came over and says, you know, Ricky's really itching to get down there because he's all excited about the racing tonight. She says, I have a feeling he may have to wait around a little while and celebrate with us in Victory Lane.
He designed that track down there in Daytona. He's really proud of it too. He said he had to be careful how he designed it. He wanted to make it really hard, but he didn't want to make it too hard because he didn't want all them those riders yelling at him over it.
How about he's making a pass on Johnny Sauter, one of our championship contenders we know this year. Ricky Carmichael up there racing side by side with him.
And we talked about getting a lap back from Aaron's. Taylor Malsom did that, and now he's contending for a top 10 spot. Both these guys are all over Sauter. It looks like maybe Carmichael's going to make it happen on the bottom.
I'm wondering maybe if Taylor Malsom put tires on in his last pit stop after he got the lucky dog. If this thing goes green the rest of the way, that's going to be a great move by his bunch.
Taylor Malsom on the high side. Ricky Carmichael back there in the Monster Energy number 4 Chevrolet. He's down at the bottom of the track. Johnny Sauter in his Chevy Silverado running just in front of them in the 13.
Look at Taylor, a good strong run into the corner, but he can't quite hold it on the way off, and here comes Carmichael on the bottom.
There's the Zachary Toyota Tundra of David Starr in that number 81.
David was another one of those guys that pitted on that last round of pit stops. Last caution flag, pitted on lap number 77.
He runs 13th. And then take a look. The gold medal bobsled designer, Jeff Bodine, running in the 14th spot.
What a nice job by Jeff in this race. It's been several years since he's been in a Camping World truck and doing a very credible job.
Donnie Leah back there. Behind him in the 07, Austin Dillon making the pass in the number 3.
Well, this is just what Austin Dillon was looking for. I know he'd like to be running up in the top 5, but he just is glad to be running after Daytona. Made one lap, came to Atlanta, qualified strong, top 5 run, and now he's just logging
right
laps.
There. Really off of 3 and 4. Just keep getting off of 2, slow and straight. Can we make it to the?
That's his dad and his spotter helping that young man, Mike Dillon, a former nationwide racer.
Donnie Leah. We were talking about Donnie Leah. If we would have run the race on Friday night, he would have probably missed the birth of his first child, but he was able to get home for that and saw the birth of his child, and then made it back to Daytona to race on Saturday night.
Kevin Harvick hugging that yellow line as he has led 63 of the 93 laps we've run from Atlanta. The most important one he wants to lead is the last one. Will Kyle Busch come up and challenge? How about Steve Wallace in his first ever Camping World Truck Series start running in the top 3? Todd Bodine had issues but he was able to rebound off of that, and he's battling for the top 10 and top 5 spots here at Atlanta. Be the biggest racing fan you can be with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage right on your VCAS phone. We're your hard card to racing nirvana, only from the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon. Let's go down to the pits and Adam Alexander.
And Rick, you were looking at the tire that came off of Mike Skinner's truck. He made an unscheduled stop at lap 95. This is the reason why. And when you look at the tire, very, very fortunate that he didn't have a bigger issue than just having to make an unscheduled stop. I've not seen one come off a truck that looks like this in quite some time, maybe ever. The bad news is they have lost a great deal of track position. The good news is we are in the middle of a green flag run, and in the next 15 or 20 laps, everyone in that lead pack going to have to come down, get tires and fuel. So it could cycle through and they could be okay. But for now, Skinner has a good day that is gone for naught. He's currently scored back in the 7th position. Not bad when you consider what's happened.
Check out the battle for third. Those Billy Blue trucks going side by side. Phil, Mike Skinner now just rides around and prays there's not a caution. If the caution doesn't fly and these other trucks have to come to pit road, it'll swing from a huge disadvantage into an advantage for him. He will be making good time on these new tires while these other guys are sliding around on Oaklands. So if the caution doesn't fly, watch for Skinner to resurface in the top 5.
We saw a battle there between Steve Wallace and his teammate Eric Almirola. There's the difference between 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick in front of Kyle Busch. Then a ways back from Kyle Busch to Steve Wallace. Kyle Busch running second. He's just about 2.5 seconds behind Kevin Harvick.
All these guys banking on another caution flag, another pit stop. They certainly don't want to do it under green like Adam was talking about, but we're getting within 15 or 20 laps of doing that. There's Matt Crafton. He made repairs. He's back on the racetrack running in the 28th position right now.
Yeah, Matt Crafton has completed 67 laps.
I want you to take a look at Taylor Malsom right here. He's moved his way all the way up to the 7th position. Remember, he just got the lucky dog just a few minutes ago, right? Well, he pitted on lap number 78. I think he put tires on then. Hey, if this thing goes green, he can go the rest of the way. He right now is running in the 7th position. He's not that far behind our leader. I'm telling you, he may be in great position if this thing goes green, Adam.
Well, you're exactly right, Phil. And to confirm, he did take tires when he came down under caution about 25 laps ago, and they feel good about where they are. Dan Stillman, the crew chief atop the pit box, crossing his fingers. This race does, in fact, stay green. And he's not the only driver that has this kind of strategy going on at this stage of the race.
He's also got a lot of company right behind him too, Phil. He's running in 7th, and you look all those trucks. That's 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way back to 11th or 12th. Following in his tire tracks.
Right before our last commercial, I was looking, and was from 7th to 14th. There was 1 second between 7th to 14th.
Maybe a tire loose or something.
Problem for Jeff Bodine in that 95.
Coming to you. 3,800.
He had got the Aaron's lucky dog, and now he's got problems. Ray Dunlap, what's going on?
Well, Rick, just wanted to give you an update. What I'm hearing down on my end is lap 114 to 116 is the window that everybody's in here based on when they need to come to the pits if this thing stays green. I just talked with Ernie Cope, and he said, we've got 4 tires, and we're definitely going with 4 when we pit. We were just hoping it'd be under yellow. But we're getting within about 8 laps of these guys maybe having to do green flag stops.
I'm telling you, Taylor Malsom is in the driver's seat. Now, if they pit under green, Kevin Harvick and some of the guys running right up front, they could probably get back out, maybe without losing a lap, because he's about 15, 16 seconds ahead of Taylor Malsom. And then if the caution flag were to come out, he would have fresher tires than Taylor Malsom, and he would be in great shape. If it goes green the rest of the way, watch out for Taylor Malsom.
And Mike Skinner, this is making me nervous. I love when the drama starts to build, and it's getting dramatic here late in the going.
Closing in on the final 20 laps of racing from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick's out in front now, but he has to come to pit road. Welcome back. The 07 of Donnie Leah has brought out our 6th caution of the day. We were expecting green flag pit stops. They're not going to happen now. We'll see a bunch of trucks dive onto pit road when they open pit road here in just a moment.
And what a huge break for all those guys up front. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Steve Wallace, Eric Almirola, Tom Bonnett, everybody that had to make another pit stop. This is an incredible break. Horrible for Mike Skinner. He was hoping that everyone would make a green flag pit stop. And I'm telling you, Taylor Malsom and David Starr were the two guys that were in the driver's seat if this thing went green the rest of the way. Let's take a look here. This is coming off turn number 4. Look at the right of your screen, way up. Right there, that's him right there. Let's see if he makes, he may not make any contact, but the tire was down.
That's why he's up there, is because he had a flat tire, and he didn't hit the wall, I don't believe, but
very close.
If I don't think he hit the wall, he did a nice job avoiding the wall, but NASCAR saw some debris on the racetrack and threw the caution flag.
Jeff Bodine also saw the 95 have some problems. At least they thought he was smelling some oil as well on that truck, so they brought it in and behind the wall. Now Kevin Harvick is going to lead the field down onto the apron and onto pit road for the final stops here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Adam?
Jeff Hensley is the crew chief for Timothy Peters, who enters pit road in the 6th position. Jeff told me yesterday our pit crew performing like what you would expect a Sprint Cup team to do. They could get him some positions here. Peters, bottom of your screen, going to get 4 tires. These are scuffed, about 5 laps on them under green. They will fuel it. No changes to the chassis, Ray.
Sticker tires on my end down here, Adam. We see Kevin Harvick with no chassis adjustments at all, but Ernie Cope decided to go up a ½ pound of air pressure all the way around because this is going to be a fairly short run to the finish. Harvick is going to roll out first. David Starr is going to have a great pit stop, rolling out second. Here comes Kyle Busch. He'll be third off of pit road.
I think David Starr was in a situation where he didn't have any tires left, so he probably just dumped enough fuel in to give him a little cushion in case we had some green-white checkers.
I think that was a bit of a break for Mike Skinner, because all the lead lap trucks, I believe, came to pit road. Mike Skinner now becomes wave around eligible. He might be able to get back on the lead lap. What'd you see with the 81? Just a little gas down there, Adam?
Yeah, they were not going to come at all, and then they realized even if we come for fuel, it's not going to hurt our track position much with all these other drivers pitting, so they came down, topped off the fuel tank. David Starr on much older tires, but he does have some track position as we get set for the final 15 laps.
Well, he's going to be no match for those trucks with new tires, though, is he, Mikey?
You just can't stay up there. I mean, the only thing that he could have accomplished by staying out was keep guys like Mike Skinner a lap down, because I believe Mike and some of these guys will stay out, wave around, and then that's somebody he'll have to beat. But, you know, he feels like he can do that. But you come to pit road, you put people back on the lead lap. There's my guy, Brad Sweet. He's a fast little USAC driver, and 2 lucky dogs today. Got a shot at a top 10 finish now, Phil.
He was your speed spotlight from earlier today. Let's take a look back at how our speed spotlight drivers are doing or faring in this race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
See, Chris Fontaine was my driver. He started in the 13th spot. He's still on the lead lap, running, being shown right now in the 17th position, but has a shot at a good top 15 finish.
Steve Wallace.
Steve Wallace has been the star of the spotlight trucks. He's been in the top 5 all day long. Currently riding along just outside the top 5 and 7th.
Only 24 drivers have ever finished in the top 5 in their Camping World Truck Series debut, and he has been running in the top 5 all day long. So there's a potential for a 25th driver to add their name to that list, right?
Little bit of a problem on the pit stop there, though, Rick. They had a slow stop. Steven did not have his foot down on the brake solidly enough, so as they got ready to make the tire changes on the front, the wheels were spinning around. So they lost 3 or 4 spots in the pits due to that little bit of a driver error.
Steven has a string of 5 top 10 finishes in a row in the Nationwide Series. They'll head to Bristol next week, or actually the week after next, for their next race.
Everybody gets the weekend off next week. Back in action. The trucks won't be back until Martinsville. That's 21 days from today.
These guys early in the season, they just race once every 21 days.
That's right. The first 3 races. Adam.
And we talked about the 81 of David Starr, who's second behind Kevin Harvick. They not only topped off the fuel tank when they came down there at 113, they also put on an old set of right side tires, so that will try and help him manage through these final laps. Still going to be tough to hang with the leaders, but they did put some rubber on the right side, albeit a bit old. Ray?
Adam, a little bit of a strategy move for Kevin Harvick here. He said on the radio, I'd really like to have the bottom side for the restart here, but because David Starr had such a good pit stop there, I'm going to take the high side, and that pins Kyle Busch down to the inside. Harvick thinking he can use his strategy of the high side start to break away from the field here and put a little distance between he and the 18.
Harvick hasn't been watching our restarts.
How long do you think he's going to stay behind the 81 truck?
The guy in third place has the advantage, so
he may look up and say, where'd he come from?
Yeah, how did that happen? But I think I agree. I think that I think it was a great strategy. Yeah, if you can't pass till you cross the start-finish line. So if Kevin gets a good start, and he's assuming that Starr won't because his tires won't hook up and go, then that'll gap Kyle Busch away from Kevin as they go down to turn 1. On paper, I like the way this sets up.
Good for Kevin Harvick, bad for Ron Hornaday. You saw them continuing to work on that number 33 truck. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Kevin Harvick with a huge restart.
Just like we thought, he tried to get on the gas, and the tires are all hot and probably got a little debris on it, wouldn't go, pin Kyle in the back.
Yeah, actually let Todd Bodine get out in between them. So Todd right now is in the second spot.
What a smart move by Kevin Harvick. It worked perfectly.
14 laps of racing to go.
Here comes Kyle Busch, Kevin. It worked perfectly for a little while. It's not going to work long.
Todd Bodine running second in between Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick.
How about Ricky Carmichael back there racing for the 4th position?
He has been on it.
Eric Almirola in the 51 is going to take 4th away.
Todd Bodine's looking to the high side of our leader, Kevin Harvick. Can he get there?
Remember, Todd Bodine has won 10 of these races on 1.5 racetracks, including one here.
Adam Alexander.
A moment ago, Phil talked about how aggressive Ricky Carmichael was in that outside lane. He has never recorded a top 5 finish. His best career mark, 7th at Kentucky last summer. That too, a 1.5-mile racetrack. And how big would this be for this young team, Turner Motorsports, to record a solid run like this? You talk about learning on the job. Carmichael getting it done here today.
This is by far, I think, Phil, his best performance from green flag to where we are now. He's been steadily making progress, and he's shown that he has the speed to run with these guys.
Yeah, no matter what happens from here on out, that's been a very solid performance. I just hope Ricky can get to the end, run these other 12 laps, and get him the finish that he deserves.
11 to go when they cross the stripe. Kevin Harvick in front of Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, Eric Almirola, and Steve Wallace up into the top 5 now.
Looks like Kevin's truck might be a little tighter than it's been all day long. Did you notice, Phil, as he exited 2 there, he didn't keep it right on the yellow line like we've seen all day. And Kyle's certainly been able to keep pace with Kevin, something he hasn't been able to do all day.
We're coming down here just outside of 10 laps to go.
10 to go. Kevin Harvick has never won here in a truck. Kyle Busch has won here 4 times. Kyle Busch trying to make it 5 wins. Kevin Harvick trying to get win number 1 in 2010. Right?
If Harvick's able to win today, this will be the trifecta at Atlanta Motor Speedway for him. That'll be the 2nd track that he's done that at, winning in all 3 of NASCAR's top series. He's also done it at Phoenix. But how about this? Lap 24, no adjustments. Lap 54, no adjustments. Lap 113, half a pound air pressure all the way around. I'd say they've had that 2 truck pretty dialed in.
And remember, brand new equipment. Never saw a racetrack till yesterday.
Look at this battle for 3rd. Eric Almirola has been all over Todd Bodine. You can see Steve Wallace lurking back there behind his teammate Almirola in 5th.
Is Kyle Busch?
Whoa! Ooh, Todd got a little bit sideways.
I think that scared Eric.
He got out of the gas just a bit.
So
I was going to ask, is Kyle Busch laying back right now, or is he giving it everything he's got?
He's giving it all he's got, and it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, Rick.
You can see the last 4 times Kevin Harvick had a brand new vehicle. Ray told us at the very top of the show, 3 wins and 1 third place finish.
The only thing Kyle can hope is that air pressure adjustment, that slight air pressure adjustment of upping the tire pressure as they run more laps will hurt Harvick's truck. Now, obviously, those guys down there know what they're doing. They plan on that, on those adjustments, because they know how many laps there are to go when they put the tires on. But the only thing that Kyle Busch can hope is that that truck doesn't perform over the long haul like it has all day, because if it does, he can't catch up with him.
You know, we listened to that truck as he went to turn 3 and 4 on his onboard, never backed off. So, you know, wide open's wide open. It's going to be very difficult to gain any ground if you're Kyle Busch, because he's running wide open in front of you.
Look at Eric Almirola making the pass on the 30 of Todd Bodine.
Bringing Stephen Wallace up there with him. See if he can get a little bit of action off Todd.
But get all you can get right here. Get all you can get.
Again, it's hard.
6 to go.
Kyle Busch, now Eric Almirola moves up to 3rd, Todd Bodine to 4th, Steve Wallace is 5th. Ricky Carmichael running in a career best position, 6th. Timothy Peters, Johnny Sauter, Rick Crawford, and Austin Dillon are your top 10. Adam Alexander.
Hey, Phil, what did you just say about 5 laps ago about Ricky Carmichael? I hope he can nurse this thing home and get the finish he deserves. He just came on the radio, said, I have a vibration. He said that at lap 123. When he crossed the start-finish line at lap 124, they told him 6 laps to go. How's the vibration? He said it has not changed. 5 laps to go for Carmichael. Keep an eye on him to see if he can hold out.
Boy, I hope he does. Great position right now, running 6th.
Down on the bottom of the racetrack, going by that 88 again. It had problems. It was behind the wall earlier today.
I'm telling you, I believe if I have a vibration like Ricky Carmichael does,
great rhythm.
I think I would run around the top of the racetrack.
Won't hit as hard if you're up there, that's
exactly.
for sure.
He's opting for the yellow line, just like Rick Crawford. We ride along with Rick. In front of him, the 13. There's some side-by-side racing for 4th. Todd Bodine sliding back. Here comes the 15 of Steve Wallace. Contact. Todd Bodine down. Steve Wallace went up. They continued going the right direction.
Todd's been pushed around. He's been run into. He's been turned around.
Todd might just say, you know, fifth's pretty good today.
Steve Wallace now going down to the bottom of the racetrack. There was contact between the 30 and the 15. Did it do damage to tires?
That was pretty rugged there, Phil.
Yeah, it looked pretty square. That contact looked pretty square. Hopefully they didn't get any fenders down on the tires. We saw what happened when we had a fender rub with Ron Hornaday. It took about 23 laps for it to manifest itself.
Take another look at what just happened. This is going through the quad oval. When they go into turn number 1, Todd Bodine looks to come down, and it looks like Steve Wallace looks to go up.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. Todd didn't expect Steven to take that line into the corner.
And didn't look like Steven cared what Todd expected.
Kevin Harvick has a 1.2-second lead over Kyle Busch with under 2 laps of racing to go. Kevin Harvick trying to make it 3 wins in a row in races he has entered in the Camping World Truck Series. He won at Phoenix, he won at Homestead to end the 2009 season, and now looking to kick off 2010 with a win at Atlanta. White flag goes in the air. Kevin Harvick gets it. 1.5 miles to go for Kevin Harvick.
Remember, that means no green white checker. Once the leader gets the white flag, if anything happens on this lap, the race will be official.
That truck was strong from the time they unloaded it, Rick. It's just pretty obvious he was going to be the truck to beat after practice. He could just run 31.90s way longer than everybody else could. He wasn't any faster than them when they threw the green.
Kevin Harvick comes out of turn number 4, 7th career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
What a dominating performance by Kevin Harvick and KHI. Great battle here. There's Johnny Sauter. That's 8th, 9th, and 10th. Rick Crawford, a great top 10, and Austin Dillon gets his first career top 10.
Career best for him and for Ricky Carmichael. What a rebound for our Daytona winner, Timothy Peters.
And I think we've got to really applaud Steve Wallace.
Missed the first race on his engine, not to do a burnout, right, Ernie?
First ever Camping World Truck Series start for Steve Wallace.
That's a red seal. We'll run it again.
There you have it. They're talking.
Kevin does a pretty good job with a burnout, so I'm sure he's going to be disappointed. But remember, the rule in the Truck Series is you can only run 2 races in a row with a fresh motor. They plan on running this motor again. It was fresh coming in here.
Ray Dunlap, I believe you've got a winning crew chief with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Ernie Copen. He said no burnout. That's a fresh motor in that one, but congratulations. You guys had a dominating truck all weekend, Ernie.
Yeah, no, it was a brand new truck. It unloaded good, and we really didn't make many adjustments during practice there yesterday. The race went smooth. It was a good day. 6
wins for you in this series, but you're going to turn over this deal to Butch Hilton. Are you sad about that?
Yeah, but I mean, I can't do both. I mean, after Martinsville there, it's going to be, you know, we're racing somewhere, they're racing somewhere else. So, yeah, I enjoy this truck racing. This is fun. We have fun every time we come run it. And but Butch is going to do a great job.
All right, congratulations. And Harvick giving it a little bit of a run down there on the front stretch, guys.
He couldn't resist, could he, Phil?
He absolutely couldn't. Well, when you win, you'd love to do a burnout. So Kevin Harvick will make his way into victory lane, and we'll hear from him when we come back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Todd Bodine has a top 5. Eric Almirola in that number 51, a top 3. Kyle Busch could not catch up with Kevin Harvick, the dominant truck today. Speed presentation of NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Atlanta is brought to you by Camping World RV Rentals. Book early and save. One-way and round-trip RV rentals available. As well as Toyota, the Sponsifier.
Log on and design your own car.
Log on to toyota.com. This is as Kevin Harvick is coming down onto pit road and into victory lane. Kyle Busch sprays him with a little bit of NOS energy drink. He's with Adam Alexander.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is a competitor. We know he doesn't like to do anything but win. Second place today. Assess how it went for you, Kyle.
Well, it was a great day. You know, it was a good day for Kyle Busch Motorsports. This is really our first outing. I mean, Daytona was what it was anyways, but a great race, you know, and really got to thank Toyota and Hell of a Good, and of course, you know, M&M's and all the people that make this program so great for us. And we're looking for more. You know, we're looking for more partners that want to be a part of this deal. And this is a true testament to what this team will do this year. You know, we want to run up front, and today was a start. You know, this was definitely a good start for us. And you know, I was proud of the way that Taylor came on there towards the middle end of the race, and then he fell back there on a pit stop, I think. But overall, you know, we'll get some things going, and we'll get a lot better. But I just want to say hey to all the kids up in the grandstands with the Kyle Busch Foundation. We had about 75 of them that were up here. The Kerry Steele Pitts Home is here today, so that was really cool. And thank Marquis Jets, NOS Energy Drink, and anybody that's been a part of this program so far. Eric did a great job making race calls all day, and really got the truck handling well for me, so I can at least see the 2 truck.
A team effort for Kyle Busch, no doubt. Ray?
Kevin Harvick starts to climb out of this easy-go Chevrolet. Back in 2001, he got his first career win in the Sprint Cup Series right here at Atlanta in just his 3rd start. A year ago, a win in Nationwide, and today you complete the trifecta. Congratulations. Now Phoenix and Atlanta, where you've won in all 3 divisions.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of racetracks that we've been really close. First thing I want to say is get better, Lori, Judy Childress. Make sure that you guys all hang in there and keep digging. But I got to thank Easy Go, Chevrolet, Longhorn, Ream, everybody who helps us with everything that we do on this truck program. It's a lot of fun to come run these trucks. And the fans, what a great day to come watch a race, and the crowd was pretty awesome today. So this thing was just, I never even let off the last, I don't know how many laps there. So you just held her on the mat, and the only chance they had was on the restarts because these things draft so good, you can keep up. So it was a lot of fun, and we'll keep at it.
I did a hub chat the other day. They asked who's the guy to beat this weekend. I said, I think maybe Harvick in both races. Is that still true?
I don't know. We struggled a little bit in happy hour, but our car was still pretty good on the long run. We just can't get going on the short run, but they'll work on it tonight, and we'll be right there digging tomorrow.
His next race in the Camping World Trucks at Martinsville, a track where he has dominated at. Adam?
Eric Almirola gets closer and closer to victory lane week by week. If you're going to win this thing, you have to be in the hunt, and you were again today.
Yeah, we're consistent, but you know, top 5s is what we need to do. We're racing for a championship this year. This year's mindset is completely different than last year, but at the same time, we want to go win races. That's the way to win a championship, is score the most points. And Richie Waters and all the guys at Billy Blue Motorsports have worked their guts out over the winter to make our program better and keep up. And we still got our homework to do. We just weren't as good as we needed to be on the long runs. We would get really tight. But real proud of everybody on this Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra. We had a good truck today. We worked on it all day, and we came up third. But I'm telling you, if we keep running top 5 like this and putting ourselves in position to win races, eventually we will.
Eric and this 51 bunch just continues to chip away.
A year ago, Kyle Busch was the guy that whenever he would enter a truck race, we said, well, he's your odds-on favorite. I think the odds have changed. Kevin Harvick now victorious once again in the Camping World Truck Series. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Victory Lane celebration continues for the Easy Go 200. Kevin Harvick back in Victory Lane. It's his 53rd career NASCAR win. That's 12th all-time for Kevin Harvick. Let's take a look at our touch of gray winning touch moment today.
This is this last restart. What a great job by Kevin Harvick. He decided to take the outside so that would pin Kyle Busch's closest competitor behind David Starr, who was on old tires. We see David Starr spin his wheels on those old tires. Kyle Busch had to wait for him. That allowed Todd Bodine to get in between him. He never overcame the deficit that he had right after that restart.
And right into Victory Lane for Kevin Harvick. That was the touch of gray winning touch moment. Touch of gray gets rid of some gray, never all.
Is that the tire monkey?
It was a monkey.
How'd the tire monkey get out of the 12 truck?
Let's go back down to Adam Alexander.
And we're with Ricky Carmichael, who got a career best finish here today at Atlanta. I was going to have you interview me to get you ready for the speed broadcast tonight down in Daytona. Congratulations on a very nice run.
Thank you very much. It wasn't the best day on pit road, but these guys worked really hard to get me up there. I can't say enough for Turner Motorsports and Monster Energy for giving me this opportunity. 6th place against these guys. It's not like I got beat by a bunch of guys that don't have any experience. So really happy. I love Atlanta. I love NASCAR racing, and I just can't believe it. It was good, and I need to be up here to stay.
I'd tell you to hustle off and catch your ride, but you may have to wait a while.
Yeah, my ride over there is in Victory Lane, so at least he'll be in a good mood. But definitely got to thank them as well for all the support and all the guys that's in the shop every day. Thank you very much.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Timing's everything, isn't it, Rick? He gets to go down to Daytona with all his buddies after a career best finish. How cool is that for Ricky Carmichael?
Great run. 6th place finish for Carmichael. Take a look at our unofficial point standings through 2 races. Todd Bodine takes over the top spot from Timothy Peters, our winner at Daytona. Jason White holding on to a top 3 spot.
What's wrong with that top 10 right there?
Where's Hornaday?
It's who we don't see on that top 10.
You don't see Ron Hornaday. How about Matt Crafton back in 8th, 98 points out of the top spot. Let's go back down to Adam Alexander.
And Todd Bodine asking the question, are we live? Of course we're live. You're the point leader, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's been a good start to the year. I don't know if we could have beat that 2 truck today. You know, this has turned into the Chevy Silverado Benefit Series. They got all the rules and the horsepower, and, you know, we still struggle, but we're proud to be driving a Toyota Tundra, and we had a good day. I mean, to come back from a spin, when we did spin, got back into the fence a little bit, and it kind of pushed the quarter panel out and made a lot more side force on the back of the truck, and I was just way too tight after that. And that last stop, Junior really freed it up, air pressure and 3 rounds of wedge out, and it just wasn't enough. I couldn't hold Eric or Steven off, but you know, to come back from a spin, end up 5th on the board, you know, leading the points. It's not a bad day. We'll take it, and proud to be driving a Tundra.
Another top 5 for Todd Bodine.
Take a look at our Polaris unofficial results from today's Easy Go 200. Kevin Harvick.
We need to break it to Todd that Chevrolet benefit show. It was 1 Chevy and 4 Toyotas in the top 5. I mean, drivers are always politicking for a little bit of help from somebody.
I understand it. I understand what he's talking about.
But it looks like things were pretty even today.
We saw a great run out of Steve Wallace. He was 4th in his first ever Camping World Truck Series start.
How about your spotlight guy, Brad Sweet, with a 12th place finish?
I loved his persistence too, man. He just kept on dogging at him and hung in there. Better every lap. Was as fast at the end of the race he was all day.
My guy Chris Fontaine ended up with a 17th place finish.
And how about Ron Hornaday back there in 34th after his accident on lap 24 of this race. It started off gold We had the bobsled gold winning team members here. Our next race, Martinsville Speedway, the Kroger 250. That's in 21 days. Coming up next, it's NASCAR Smarts. There was a lot of problems on the racetrack, but I'll tell you who didn't have problems. Kevin Harvick, dominant today at Atlanta.
Get out the boxing gloves. The Truck Series rolls into Martinsville. This half-mile paperclip is hard on brakes, but even harder on patience. Three-time winner Mike Skinner, short track ace Dennis Setzer, and series champion Ron Hornaday will do battle for fender bender hot temper racing on the biggest little short track on the circuit. You won't want to miss the Kroger 250, Saturday, March 27th at 1:30 p.m. when Chris Kubota kicks off the action with the setup presented by Polaris. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, only on Speed.